trouble I've caused you?
Hey, I never stopped wanting you for a moment. I never will. You see, I want to stay up here and live the rest of my life. And I can't get a certain phrase out of my mind. Makes a lot of sense.
What phrase is that?
Something I remembered when I first saw you. No country is God's country without a woman. Will you marry me, Mrs. Darcumbo?
Yes, Mr. Darcumbo. I'll marry you.
Is it all right with you, Captain?
And now, a special message to the ladies. Of course, you want to feel and look as young and attractive as you should. But many women are needlessly throwing away their natural youthfulness simply because they fail to live sensibly and get enough certain indispensable vitamins and iron. Ladies, don't let that happen to you. Don't be guilty of throwing away your youthful charm. Just live sensibly and take Vitamins Plus once each day. Vitamins Plus gives you full protective amounts of all the certain indispensable vitamins and iron you must have to feel and look as young as you should. So be sure to make it your health charm routine. Vitamins Plus, just once each day.
I am Adventure. Next week, meet a dashing, debonair French prince who masqueraded as a barber to find an honest Cinderella. Booth Tarkington's famous story, Monsieur Beaucaire. Until next week, then, I am dangerously yours.
Our script was written by Gene Holloway from the book by James Oliver Curwood, God's Country and the Woman, and directed by Richard Sanville. Music for the series is under the direction of Mark Warnow. The part of Josephine was played by Claire Neeson. Be sure and listen in again next week when Vicks presents Dangerously Yours, starring Victor Jory. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Vicks presents Dangerously Yours, a half hour of romance and adventure starring Victor Jory in Monsieur Beaucaire. You know, more and more millions of people are using Vicks Vatronol nose drops to relieve distress of head colds. Benefit by their experience. And now, Dangerously Yours.
I am Adventure. In my name, men have traversed the highways, the byways, the skyways of the world. I am the fire that burns in the heart of youth, that makes men dream and dare and conquer. I am dangerously yours. Today, follow me to the English court in the early 18th century. Meet that daring, impudent Frenchman who risked his neck many times over to win a rose and to win the heart of his lady, Monsieur Beaucaire.
Your Highness, His Majesty is in the throne room. He would like to see you immediately.
Very well, Henri. I'll go at once. Yes, Father?
Louis-Philippe, I have been thinking about you.
Yes, Father.
You are 33 years old. You are the prince of the realm, and at this time you had a wife. I have been duly considering all the available princesses, and I have decided that you are to marry your cousin, the Princess Henriette.
Well, now, Father, it grieves me deeply to have to go against you in anything. But I don't happen to want to marry my cousin Henriette.
I wasn't aware, sir, that I had asked you what you wanted.
Don't you think you should ask?
No, because you never have the good taste to want what I want. Why don't you want to marry your cousin?
I don't love her.
Now, that's just about the silly kind of answer I would expect from you. What on earth do you want?
I want to choose my wife. I want someone who is beautiful and witty and charming and clever. I want someone who is honest and courageous and straightforward and trustworthy. I want someone who will love me and only me, and who will love me without knowing who I am or what I am.
My boy, such a woman never lived. You might as well face that fact and marry your cousin Henriette.
No, sir, I won't do it. I positively will not marry Henriette.
Parbleu, you will do as I say.
Parbleu, I won't.
Well, then, sir, you will pay a little visit to our prison at Vincennes, and you will stay in prison until you make up your mind to marry Henriette.
I'll never marry Henriette.
You will start for Vincennes tonight.
I'll never marry Henriette.
Let's rest our mounts for a moment.
You know, gentlemen, I do not have much wish to go to prison, so I think I'll leave you here. Good evening, gentlemen.
Well, come on, after him. We can't just let him ride away.
Oh, he's a much better horseman than any of us, and a much better swordsman. Why get all hot and steaming with a chase and a fight? It's much simpler to go back and tell the king he escaped.
Well, Pierre, will you do it? Will you let me travel to England with you?
No, Your Highness, you put me in a very unhappy spot.
I've got to get out of France at once. If I don't, my father's going to put me in prison.
But to suggest that you accompany me as my barber, it's well, I just don't like it. What do you know about barbering in the first place?
I've been observing barbers for some time now. There's nothing to it at all. Nothing to it at all. You'll see that I will bring about some changes in that beard of yours.
Now, you see, I'm very fond of that beard, and I'm not going to have you tampering with it.
You forget yourself, Molyneux.
Well, suppose I refuse to take you with me to England.
Then I will order you to take me.
I am not a happy man. Why do you want to go to England anyhow? I'm just going to take the sun at Bath. You'll find it very dull.
Bath? Dull? Why, there's gambling there and dancing and beautiful ladies. And there I may find that which I seek.
May I take the liberty of asking just what it is that you do seek, Your Highness?
I seek a lady as beautiful as the morning. As beautiful as...
A lady, eh? What lady? What's her name? Does she have a title?
I don't know her name, but her title might be Cinderella. Molyneux, you wonderful, handsome Molyneux.
Don't shout so. You'll have everyone up here to see what's wrong. What is wrong?
I found her. I knew at the moment I saw her. She had a red rose in her hand, and she was riding by in her carriage, and she dropped the rose when she saw me, and when I returned it, I touched her hand for a moment. Oh, Molyneux, she's so lovely, so beautiful, so charming. Hand me those scissors. I will trim your beard while I tell you about it.
You trimmed my beard yesterday, and it really doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it, Molyneux. I don't want you to have a hair out of place. I want everyone in Bath to say, oh, what a magnificent barber is that Monsieur Beaucaire.
But my beard keeps getting less and less. I really don't want a trim.
I order you to sit down.
Yes, Your Highness. I am not a happy man. This is supposed to be a vacation for me.
I've found out her name already. It is Lady Mary Carlisle.
Oh, you cut off such a big hunk.
Don't squirm so. I might accidentally cut off your nose.
I really don't need a trim.
If you don't sit still, I'll have you beheaded, and that will end your entire problem.
Yes, Your Highness.
Now then, Molyneux, how can you fix it for me to meet Lady Mary?
I cannot. You just don't introduce your barber to high-born ladies.
You don't, huh? Well, I'm not going to make a fellow countryman commit a social error. I'll tell you what you do. Suppose you invite the Duke of Winterset to your rooms tonight for a game of cards.
I don't like the Duke. Why should I invite him in for a game?
Well, I've heard the Duke is very intimate with Lady Mary Carlisle. So I've just decided that he shall have the honor of introducing me.
Oh, my beard.
You're too vain about that beard, Molyneux. If you're not good, I may cut it off altogether.
Oh.
Yes, the Duke shall have the honor of introducing us.
You can't seriously think he'll introduce a barber to his friends?
Well, I'm told the Duke cheats at cards. If he cheats me, he will introduce me. But not as a barber. I shall become a Duke for the purpose. The Duke of, Chateaubriand.
Winterset is no child, Your Highness. You're flirting with danger.
I like to flirt with danger. I love it. It's the wine and the sauce, the salt and the stew.
The soft spot in the head.
Well, that's enough trimming for this afternoon. Go. Hurry. Run on those little fat feet and tell the Duke of Winterset that your barber is the most fabulous gambler in France, and that a game with him might prove most interesting. Go now, scat.
Oh, what has happened to my holiday shouldn't happen to a pig.
Will you shuffle, Monsieur le Duc?
Thank you. Cut.
No, thank you.
What happened to your beard, Molyneux? It's a different shape every day.
It changes with the mood of my barber.
Monsieur le Duc, pardon, but one of the cards seems to be missing.
One of the cards missing? Oh, that's impossible.
You will pardon me if I remove it from your sleeve. Voila, monsieur. This will make quite a story when it gets out.
You'll make no story of this book here, if I have to kill you to make sure of it.
Take your hand off your sword, monsieur, and look around.
Oh.
Permit me to introduce my good friends, Francois, Henri, Albert, Charles, and Gaston. Also, permit me to point out that they are armed. You're in a little trouble, Monsieur le Duc.
How much do you want?
Money does not interest me. I want something that will not hurt you as much. And if you will not do it for me...
Murder?
Oh, no, monsieur. Only disgrace.
Why, you scurvy footboy. You greasy barber. You stable boy. Born in a stable.
Is it not an honor to be born where the Duke of Winterset must have been bred?
Do you think a soul in Bath would take your word that I attempted to cheat you?
They would take the word of my master, Molyneux.
You'd pass that word about, Molyneux?
Yes.
What do you want of me?
I want to be presented to society as the Duke of Chateaubriand. And I also want to meet the lovely Lady Mary Carlisle.
Lady Mary, may I present His Grace, the Duke of Chateaubriand? Your Grace, Lady Mary Carlisle.
I kneel at the feet of such beauty.
You're very kind.
Would you grant me the honor of this dance?
The pleasure is mine, Your Grace.
I've dreamed of this moment for so long a time, and now that it's here and you're in my arms, I don't even know what to say. And there's so much that I should say.
What do you want to say?
Oh, my dear. If I were to tell you, you'd slap my face and run away.
I know very little about the French, although I've heard of their gallantries. And now I see why.
If I told you that I loved you, what would you say?
I'd say you couldn't possibly know. We English are practical people, Your Grace.
Surely not about love. Who can be practical about love?
If a lady were not practical about you, Monsieur le Duc, she might very easily get her heart broken.
Oh, don't be practical about me. I'll not break your heart, but I'll try very hard to take it away from you.
I'm not sure you can. You see, I'm waiting for someone very special.
What kind of a someone?
Oh, someone who is straightforward, who never says anything he does not mean. Someone who can be trusted. And, of course, he must be very handsome. And he must love me very much.
I think I know just the man for you.
Is his name Monsieur le Duc de Chateaubriand?
No, not his real name.
And what might his real name be, Monsieur le Duc?
His real name might be...
Prince Charming? You must tell me about him sometime.
Sometime I will. You are leaving the ball now?
Yes, it is late, and I'm a little tired. My carriage is waiting.
Look at that moon, Lady Mary. By tomorrow night it'll be in its prime. Will you go driving with me?
I'm supposed to attend a dinner. And in any case, it would not be proper.
You're English and I'm French. What is proper in my country may not be in yours. In my country, if you refused to come, that would mean there was no hope for me at all. And I would not try to see you again.
I will try to change my engagement. If you would care to call about 8.
I will be there. My lady...
Yes, Your Grace.
I ask a favor. May I have that small red rose you wear in your hair?
What would that mean in your country?
The same as it means in yours. Will you give it to me?
It is yours. And now, good night.
Thank you, my lady. Be careful of my heart, won't you? You see, you're taking it home with you tonight. Please, don't break it.
Good night, Your Grace. Goodbye until tomorrow.
I see you have a rose, Monsieur Barber.
Yes, I have a rose.
The rose will be dead before morning, and so may be the barber.
Are you threatening me?
I have intended for some time to make Lady Mary Carlisle my wife. I don't intend to change my plans.
I have the same intention, and I don't have any idea of changing my plans.
Do you think you can marry her and keep her from finding out that you're a barber?
No.
Do you think her ladyship would marry a barber?
I think she would if she loved him. I mean to find out.
At the risk of personal disgrace, at any risk, I will keep you from seeing her again.
At any risk, I will see her again.
Well then, monsieur, I'm afraid I shall have to kill you.
Sorry, Winterset, I don't have time right now. I must get some rest. I have an engagement with Lady Mary tomorrow night, and I want to be at my best.
I'm warning you.
No, do your worst, Winterset. Let's see how much of a blackguard you really can be. Step carefully getting into the carriage, milady. Here, permit me to help you.
Thank you, Your Grace.
Now then, we're on our way.
All right, men, we'll follow them into the country. We'll let them get about 10 miles out of town, and then we'll take care of Monsieur Le Barber. We must keep out of sight until we're ready for the kill. Come, after them!
You know, folks, how your head sometimes stuffs up at night and makes breathing so difficult it's mighty hard to get to sleep. Now, the next time you're bothered with this transient congestion at bedtime, just put a few drops of Vicks Vatronol in each nostril. Then feel this specialized medication start to open up the clogged nasal passages and make breathing easier. What grand relief it brings. Vatronol is so effective because it's expressly designed not only to help relieve local congestion, but reduce irritating dryness, too. In this way, it invites restful sleep. Try Vatronol tonight if you're troubled with nasal stuffiness, and notice how fast breathing becomes easier. Remember, too, that Vatronol is equally effective to relieve distress of head colds. So if you're sniffling and sneezing, just use a few drops of Vatronol. Follow directions in the folder. Vicks Vatronol Nose Drops. And now, the second act of Monsieur Beaucaire, starring Victor Jory.
Whoa. We'll stop for a moment. And look at the ocean in the moonlight, no?
Very well. But you aren't looking at the moon or the ocean.
You are more beautiful.
Compliments roll so smoothly from your tongue, Monsieur le Duc. One could wish you did not say them quite so glibly.
Compliments are the result of honest emotion. What I feel I can express strongly and quickly because I have no doubt about my feelings. I'm not a schoolboy stammering over his first love. I'm a man looking at my last love.
How clear it is tonight.
Yes. On nights like this, I used to go out alone and sit by the sea and dream about a girl like you. Makes me a little homesick tonight for France. Oh, Lady Mary, you will love my country. And they'll love you in my country. If we were there tonight, we'd find a carnival and ride in a carousel and drink champagne and laugh. And later I would take you on the top of the highest hill I could find, and I would say, that is my kingdom down there, and now it's yours, if you will but put your hand in mine. Mary, look at me. Why do you turn away?
Because suddenly I want to believe you. Suddenly my heart wants to believe you. And my mind says no. My mind says, be cautious. He is a stranger. Don't let yourself be misled.
Will you marry me?
I don't know.
Do you love me?
I think perhaps I do. I'm not sure. How can I be sure? I've known you so short a time.
You can be sure. You can be sure if your heart grows warm when you look at me. And you can be sure if time goes singing by when we're together and drags by when we're not. And you can be sure you'll love me if there's both peace and fire in your heart when you hear me say, I love you.
Then I think it must be so.
My dearest.
My dearest.
There's something I must tell you. There's something I must ask you. If I were not what I seem, if I were not the Duc de Chateaubriand, would it make any difference? It seems almost insulting to ask you, but I must know.
You are not the Duc de Chateaubriand? Then who are you?
A man who loves you.
Listen, I hear horsemen. I wonder who they are.
Yes, I think I know who they are. I must get out of the carriage. I trust my own men are near.
Who are they? Who are you? What is wrong?
My darling, listen to me. If I live tonight, I'll take you to France and you shall be my queen. And if I die, I'll count my life well lost for this 1 hour.
What is wrong? Who are you?
Kill the barber!
Kill the barber!
Don't let him escape!
Surround him! Kill the barber!
Let the first man who wants to fight step forward.
Kill him!
Ready through!
Don't give him any quarter!
If I must fight 5 men, then I'll fight 5.
Come, milady. Let me take you away from here.
Winterset, what does this mean? Why don't you defend him?
Defend him? Defend that dog of a Beaucaire? A common barber? Those are my men that are killing him. I led them here.
You led them here? Why? What is this all about?
Step aside, they'll trample you down.
See how he fights. He's magnificent. Have you ever seen such swordsmanship?
Winterset, why are you not fighting?
I don't fight with barbers, monsieur.
Take that, my pretty. And that. There's more blood shed with the 5 of you than I have shed. And you, my ugly friend. Ha! I don't care for your face.
2 of them down. Odds blood, the man can fight. Get him, men. Get him. I want him strung up.
I'll disarm him!
Good. Bring him here.
Where are the Duke's men? Dear God in heaven, where are his men?
He is no duke. He's a barber. A common barber.
A barber? Oh, no.
That he is, my lady. Barber to Monsieur Molyneux.
Oh, no, I cannot believe it.
Francois, here. À moi. Francois.
Well done, my friends. You were almost too late. Monsieur le Duc, you had better tend to your accomplices. Some of them seem to be in pain. I'm sorry not to be able to oblige you by dying, but I have different plans.
Is it true that you are a barber and nothing more?
Would that make a difference to you?
You surely could not expect me to marry a barber.
I thought you would marry whomever you loved. I thought you were different from all the other ladies in the world. I see now. I was mistaken. Forgive me for the assumption. Francois, I need help, Francois.
Oh, Seigneur, your coat is red with blood.
Winterset, will you take me home?
With pleasure, milady. We'll meet again, barber. Unless you get out of town immediately. I'm not through with you yet.
Drive on, Winterset. This has all made me a little faint.
Farewell, my lady.
Francois, sometimes a red rose comes very high. But the rose she gave me seemed more beautiful than it has turned out to be. Help me home, Francois.
Monsieur Molyneux, may I please see Monsieur Beaucaire?
He's in the garden resting. Haven't you done enough to him?
Please, let me see him. I know he despises me, but there is something I must say to him.
I don't like you, my lady, and I'll do nothing to help you see Monsieur Beaucaire. Ever since he met you, his barbering's gone right out of the window. I've almost lost my entire beard. You're ruining his profession.
You won't take me to him?
I will not. But I can't help it if you push your way past me and go around to the garden on your own.
Thank you. Monsieur Beaucaire.
No. Good afternoon, Your Ladyship.
I know you don't want to see me, but I had to come.
I won't be able to talk to you long. I have some affairs to settle, and I'm leaving for France tomorrow.
A few weeks ago, you and I rode out along the sea, and you said, if I would put my hand in yours, you would give me a kingdom. Do you remember?
But you would not care for a barber's kingdom.
I think I would. I know I would.
Why, Mary.
If I've always thought that titles were important, forgive me. I've learned better. Just say I had a bad bringing up. I've had a lot of weeks to think this over, and I know it doesn't matter whether you're a duke or a barber, because the only kingdom I really want is in your arms, and the only title I really want is the title Madame Beaucaire.
Oh, my dearest, my darling, my sweet.
I love you. That's the only important thing in the whole world to me. I love you so much.
You shall be Madame Beaucaire. And Monsieur Beaucaire is a very lucky man.
Monseigneur, that beast of a Winterset is on his way over here with a whole party of gentlemen from the court. Francois just brought word.
I shall be ready for them.
Can't we end this masquerade? I swear what's left of my beard is turning white.
We can end the masquerade. It's no longer necessary. I've found my Cinderella.
There he is, the impudent scoundrel.
Let's finish him this time.
Gentlemen, hear me before you offer an outrage. You will repent all your lives and plunge your country into war.
Ah, Monsieur le Duc, you always appear well flanked with men. You never risk meeting me alone, do you?
Do you expect me to fight a cutthroat with bare hands?
I think one does not expect Monsieur to fight anybody. Do you think I would fight you? I would gladly fight almost anyone in the world, but I would not soil my hands with a lying, sneaking...
Stop your lying now.
Anyone who thinks he can stop me, step forward. Oh, really, Winterset. This is getting a little tiresome. You're always forcing me to fight when I'm not in the mood.
Your Highness, my prince, please say no more.
Your Highness? My prince?
My prince? What prince is this? What kind of talk is this?
Winterset, you forfeited all honor in this place. You play cards with me and cheat. And then on condition I do not expose you, you introduce me as de Chateaubriand. You introduce me at the cost of your honor and then betray me to redeem it. You are a liar, a card shark, a coward.
I'll know the true name of the man that dares bring such a charge.
Tell him, Molyneux. I think it's time he knows. But make it as short as possible.
Permit me to have the honor of presenting to you His Royal Highness, Prince Louis-Philippe de Valois, le Duc d'Orléans, Duc de Chartres, Duc de Nemours, Duc de Montpensier, Count de Beaujolais, first Prince of the Blood Royal, First Peer of France, Lieutenant General of Infantry, Governor of Dauphine, Knight of the Golden Fleece, Grand Master of the Order of Notre Dame, of Mount Carmel, and of St. Lazarus in Jerusalem, and son of His Most Christian Majesty, the King of France.
Mon Dieu, what a memory.
The prince shall hear from me within the hour.
What gentleman will carry your message, Winterset? Whoever will shall receive a little beating from Francois. And now, may I introduce to this company the lady who has promised to be my wife.
But I promised to marry Monsieur Beaucaire.
I am Beaucaire in my heart. And in my heart, you will always be Madame Beaucaire.
Monseigneur, my prince, by your leave, I have been a good friend, have I not?
That you have, Molyneux?
Have I not served you, obeyed you, suffered for you, worried over you?
You've done all those things.
Then may I ask one favor in return?
Ask. It shall be granted.
May I be your barber just for a month? I can see room for improvement in your beard.
Molyneux, if that's what you want, it shall be granted. But consider all the trouble masquerading as a barber got me into.
On second thought, I withdraw the request.
On the other hand, look at the joy it brought me.
I think I'll just take my holiday now. Though, if you don't mind, goodbye, Monsieur Beaucaire. May I wish you great happiness.
Thank you very much. I have great happiness. Now that I've found Madame Beaucaire.
Ladies, it's a fact that today many, many women are throwing away their youthful charm, fading before their time, simply because they fail to live sensibly and get enough of certain indispensable vitamins and iron. Now, don't you pay that penalty. Don't be guilty of throwing away your natural youthfulness. Just live sensibly and take Vitamins Plus once each day. You see, Vitamins Plus gives you full protective amounts of all the certain indispensable vitamins and iron that you must have to feel and look as young, as vital, and alive as you should. So make it your health charm routine. Vitamins Plus, just once each day.
I am Adventure. Next week, come with me to the South in the days of Lincoln and Lee, when the Union almost split into two nations. Meet one of the most colorful, dashing figures of the war between the states in the Ballad of Beauty Stewart. Until next week, then, I am dangerously yours.
Our script was written by Gene Holloway from the story Monsieur Beaucaire by Booth Tarkington. Dangerously Yours was directed by Richard Sandville. Lady Mary was played by Joan Wetmore. Molyneux by Jackson Beck. Music for the series is under the direction of Mark Warnow. Be sure and listen in again next week when Vicks presents Dangerously Yours, starring Victor Jory. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Vicks presents Dangerously Yours, a half hour of romance and adventure starring Victor Jory in Bothwell of Scotland. You know, more and more millions of people are using Vicks Vatronol nose drops to relieve distress of head colds. Benefit by their experience. And now, Dangerously Yours.
I am Adventure. In my name, men have traversed the highways, the byways, the skyways of the world. I am the fire that burns in the heart of youth, that makes men dream and dare and conquer. I am dangerously yours. Today, follow me to the Scotland of the 16th century, when Mary, Queen of Scots, was 23 years old and one of the most beautiful women in the world. And a man came storming into her court and into her heart. Bothwell of Scotland.
Your Majesty, James Hepburn, 4th Earl of Bothwell, exiled by your father, but your humble servant if you will have me.
You are my father's enemy, my lord.
I will not be yours. I bring to your banners my army. I bring to your name of honor through many generations and a loyalty you need ne'er question.
I have need of a loyalty such as that. But you have been considered an enemy in this court.
This court would consider any honest man an enemy.
I resent that statement, sir.
It is ne'er wise to resent a statement, your Majesty, before you hae examined it. I tell you, this court is like a rotten apple eaten from within. Your nobles are a treacherous, lying thieves, and everyone in the world knows it but you.
My nobles thieves? Get out of this court before I throw you in irons. How dare you stand before me and attack my people in such a manner?
I dare because I'm a Scot, and it makes my blood boil to hear the things that are going on in Scotland. I come back because, regardless of my differences with your father, I love my country and my country's crown. And the wrongs done to the crown and the country burn deep into my own honor. You are a woman, and young, and in a sense defenseless. And you are surrounded by an unscrupulous court that is constantly using you to its own advantage. I admire your loyalty, but you must know these things are true. You must have suspected them.
If I have, I'll not admit it to the world.
I am your countryman. Your fight is my fight. Will you let me stay? Will you let me fight for you?
Very well. Here's my hand on it.
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, may I intrude for a moment?
Certainly, my Lord Bigley. Have you met the Earl of Bothwell?
Lord Bigley?
Your Majesty, is it your wish that we welcome the Earl of Bothwell to your court?
It is my wish.
And why shouldn't you welcome me?
Why, since you ask, you were declared outlaw in Scotland. You went against the king.
The king was wrong. He was under the influence of traitors in his own court.
Are you daring to imply that...
Don't bother with implications, Bigley, but only with accusations. I'm here to fight for the Queen against any who would betray her.
This entire court is loyal to her service.
There are differences of opinion on that. If it's true, then this court has nothing to fear from me.
Your Majesty, will you permit this man to voice such insults in your presence?
We've heard enough, Bigley. My Lord Bothwell, we are very grateful for your offer of service, and we welcome you to our standards. We hereby confirm your hereditary title of Lord Admiral of Scotland.
Your Majesty.
You will bring your men here for quartering and make your home in our castle.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Your Majesty, good evening.
Good evening, Your Grace.
May I join you in your walk, or would you prefer to be alone?
You may join me.
What does a queen think about when she's walking in her gardens in the moonlight?
What should a queen think about?
Oh, I suppose great things such as... how much good she will bring to Scotland in her lifetime. What does the Queen of Scotland think about?
The Queen of Scotland thinks of her people walking hand in hand in the spring starlight. The Queen of Scotland wonders what it would be like to have a village beau and be kissed in the shadow of a yew tree. I'm afraid I'm under the spell of the moon tonight. You should not have asked. And I should not have answered.
Why shouldn't you think those things? You're young and beautiful. Tell me, where is His Highness, your husband?
Darnley? I have no idea. He has little love for me or I for him. He and Lord Bigley rode away just after dinner.
Beware of Bigley. I don't trust him.
I will. You're staring at me, my lord.
I know. It's as though I was suddenly seeing you for the first time, and the wonder of seeing you puts many things upon my tongue, and yet keeps me from saying them. Oh, Mary.
How dare you kiss me, sir? How dare you?
Throw me an iron, send me back to exile, do with me what you will, but I love you.
How dare you?
Shall I leave you, my queen, now that I've incurred your anger? Shall I mount my horse and ride out of Scotland? I'm used to banishment. You have only to say the word.
Yes, go. Go and never let me see you again.
You're very wise, my queen. For if I stayed, I'd kiss you again. Having forgotten once you were a queen, I might forget it again. Ah, you're lovely in the moonlight, Mary. Mary, Queen of Scots. Your lips are soft and ripe for kissing. Your eyes are deep with dreams. And I, who only wanted to kneel at your feet, now want to take you into my arms. Good night. Goodbye, Your Majesty.
Bothwell! Bothwell, don't leave me. Don't leave me. Already I'm lonely for you.
I love you. I love you.
Oh, I can't breathe. I never laughed so much or ran so much. Imagine the Queen of Scotland running through the streets of Edinburgh. I don't know what got into me.
You were chasing me, if you remember.
Oh, so I was. I must watch that. Oh, look, darling. This is the wishing well. Have you a coin? Have you 2 coins? We'll throw them in and make a wish.
Here you are.
Thank you.
What did you wish?
That you'd always love me. What did you wish?
That you'd always want me to love you.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm not my best at dancing. I feel like a bear dancing with a fairy princess.
You look wonderful and you dance divinely, and I'm the luckiest girl in the world.
I don't like to be the one to have to tell you, Your Majesty, but that lovely little crown of yours is on crooked.
Oh.
And your court is looking definitely shocked.
Heavens, what a breach of royal etiquette. I'll set it straight at once.
No, I like it crooked. It makes you look like a little girl dressed for a masquerade.
Then I'll wear it that way. Always.
My Lord Bothwell.
Yes, Lord Bigley.
This court resents your friendship with the Queen. If you'll take my advice, you'll leave this kingdom while you still have a head on your shoulders.
Are you threatening me, Bigley?
You fool, you'll ruin the Queen's name throughout the entire world. You're forgetting there's a king in Scotland, and everyone is talking about you now.
That's a contemptible lie. No one could be talking because we've done nothing wrong.
Go into the city and find out yourself, Bothwell, and then get out of this court.
Ah, you found it a little hard to prey on the countryside since I've been here, haven't you, Bigley? And you found it a little hard to continue your foreign intrigues since I've been examining the dispatches. That might possibly have more to do with your desire to get me out than your interest in the Queen's reputation. Craig!
Aye, Bothwell.
Come with me. I want to ride into the city.
You'll see that I've told you the truth.
I wonder how long you and I can stay in the same court, Bigley, without me killing you.
You'll be leaving after your trip to Edinburgh.
Come on, Craig. What do you think of your queen, sir?
My queen, that hussy. Carrying on with Bothwell behind her husband's back.
Why go?
Wait, Bothwell. They'll not strike him again. He's drunk. He didn't mean it.
He didn't mean it. A man says things when he's drunk he wouldn't dare say when he's sober. Come, let us go elsewhere.
The Queen and Bothwell, why, I say they're a disgrace to the whole country. What right does a queen have to act like a barmaid?
You're wrong, old man. There has been nothing wrong between them. The Queen is faithful to her husband.
Don't expect me to believe that. Or anyone else in Scotland, or in the whole world, for that matter.
I'm afraid Bigley was right, Craig. What shall I do? What shall I do?
Bothwell. Oh, Bothwell, hold me close. I'm so frightened. I dreamt you rode away and left me. And I woke up crying. Then I saw you walking up and down outside my window, and I had to come out. Oh, hold me close. Everything's all right when I'm in your arms.
Do you know that last night your people burned me in effigy in the square?
How did they dare? How did they dare? They shall be punished.
Oh, Mary. Mary, I love you. I loved you the first moment and before the first moment. And even if I never see you again, I will love you forever.
You wouldn't leave me, Bothwell. Oh, you wouldn't leave me.
I'd save your kingdom for you by riding away. Your people despise me.
But they're devoted to me. I believe they'll understand. Let's tell them that I'm a woman and that I've fallen in love. Let's say to them, is there one among you who would give up your loved ones for a crown? Then take my crown. It becomes too heavy for a woman's heart.
Mary, I'm going.
You can't. I forbid it.
You're not a queen with me, you know. You cannot forbid and demand.
Do you want pleadings and tears? Then I'll cry. I have no pride with you. I cannot lose.
Mary, listen to me. You are a queen and married. Your court, your people can tell you, and doubtless have, that I'm an adventurer, that I've spent most of my days on the battlefield, and I've taken my love where I found it.
And now you bear a queen across your saddle. Is that it? Has it all been a lie? Have you been pretending to love me and meaning all the time to ride away one day and leave me dying?
If I did not love you, I would stay and reap the harvest, and then I would leave you. Not now. But in God's name, what else is there for me to do? If I stay here, you will lose your crown.
Suppose you let me worry about my crown. My heart is my own affair, not Scotland's.
Oh, my dear. You're very young in the way of courts. It will always be your tragedy that you had to learn to be a queen, and mine that I had to teach you.
Bothwell, if you leave me now, I'll abdicate. I'll give the throne to anyone who'll take it. I don't want a world that has no place for you. Oh, my darling, help me work it out. I'll ask Darnley for a divorce. We can try to work it out. We must try. We have a right to happiness.
We had no right to anything, you and I.
Don't leave me now. Oh, tell me you won't leave me. Tell me you'll never leave me. Bothwell. Oh, Bothwell.
All right. All right, Mary, all right. Have it your own way. But we have many enemies now, and they will ne'er stop until they've ruined us. And may heaven help us both.
In just a moment, we will bring you the second act of Bothwell of Scotland. But first, friends, do you happen to be sniffling and sneezing these days like a good many other people? Well, if you are, and your trouble is due to a head cold, here's a friendly tip that may save you a lot of misery. Vicks Vatronol is specialized nasal medication that quickly relieves sniffly, sneezy, stuffy distress. All you do is put a few drops of Vatronol in each nostril, and at once this fine medication goes to work fast, right where trouble is. It quickly spreads through the nose and upper throat to soothe irritation, and it opens up the nasal passages to make breathing easier. You'll like the way Vatronol brings relief. And here's a sensible precaution. Always keep a bottle on hand, ready to use right away when you catch a head cold. Yes, try Vatronol, friends. Just follow the simple directions in the folder. Vicks Vatronol Nose Drops. And now, the second act of Dangerously Yours, starring Victor Jory in Bothwell of Scotland.
You could still save your neck, Bothwell. You could still ride away with your men and save your life. We have every card stacked against you. We have you in the middle of the most fabulous trap that's ever been devised. And you'll be destroyed the moment we spring it.
I'm pretty good at eluding traps, Bigley. And you're a slimy little rat sliding around behind people's backs, whispering lies, setting traps, and you dinna scare me one bit. In fact, someday I shall probably have the pleasure of cutting off your head.
It's always dangerous to underestimate your enemy, Bothwell. We have warned you. Now we shall act. We shall spring the trap.
Bothwell, wake up! Wake up!
Yes, Craig?
Come on.
What is it? There's something wrong.
Didn't you hear that explosion?
Explosion? What explosion?
There's been an accident. Nay, not an accident. There's been a murder. The king, Darnley, it was sleeping tonight in the Royal House at Kirkfield. There was an explosion.
He's dead?
Aye. They found his body a short distance from the house.
Who found the body?
Bigley and some of the court nobles who were riding by. You know what they say, Bothwell?
No.
They say that you killed him.
What? But that's stupid. I ain't been out of my room all evening. I've been sleeping. And besides, no one could possibly believe I would murder the king.
They're saying that you did. It's all over Edinburgh. Soon they may be saying it all over the world.
Oh, I see. So this was their trap. I must see the Queen at once.
Darnley dead. Darnley dead. I can't believe it.
But it's true, my dear. The people are saying that I killed him.
I suppose I should weep. But I haven't any tears to shed. Isn't that strange? I've hated him for so long that I couldn't possibly grieve for him.
Oh, you must never say that again. Mary.
Bothwell, will you marry me?
No, Mary. Then people would say we were both responsible for his death. That would be madness.
We've always been mad. We began this love fearlessly, paying no attention to what anyone thought or said. And that's the way we must live it. We mustn't let them destroy it for us.
This is the work of those devils in your court. This is the result of their fiendish plotting.
Let us face them down. At least let us attempt to face them down. Let us not admit defeat. Will you marry me, Bothwell?
You're a brave woman.
You've made me brave.
You're not a good queen, my dear. You ne'er hae been. As Queen of Scotland, you should say, this romance has caused anger and dissension and death within my kingdom. And dear as it is to me, it must be stricken from the land and from my heart. As Queen of Scotland, you should say, this country must come above all things with me. And I who rule it must rule it proudly and with dignity at whatever cost necessary to personal happiness. And then I would ride away for you. And you would be a great queen.
I could do that if it were not for my woman's heart. I could do that if my thoughts were not molded by a woman's mind. I could do that if you'd not taken me in your arms and awakened me. And if you leave me, it will destroy me completely. Will you marry me, Bothwell?
Oh, do you want to marry me, knowing by that act you may bring about your death and lose your throne? Do you want to marry me and listen to the entire world say that I murdered your husband to get your kingdom and that you were an accomplice? Mary would be scorned and hated and despised and very probably killed.
Ours has been a great love. A love such as comes to few people. And it's been my one great joy. Let us have what hours we can. And let us not count them or fear what may follow. Let us live them as they come. Until they end.
You're not a good queen, Mary. But, you're a rather magnificent woman. It's too bad you weren't the village belle and I your village beau.
Don't think of what could have been or should have been. But only what is.
All right. All right, Mary. We'll take the hours as they come, and we'll live them until they end. I, James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell, do solemnly swear to love and to cherish this woman as long as we both shall live.
I, Mary Stuart, do solemnly swear to love and to cherish this man as long as we both shall live.
I tell you, unless we kill Bothwell, it's death for all Scotland. He's bewitched the Queen. Call your men together, we'll march on the palace.
500 men waiting in the glen. We'll march on the palace and take Bothwell. If the Queen objects, we'll put her where she won't object. We'll make an armed camp of all Scotland if necessary.
Are we going to let the king's murder go unavenged? Come on, we'll mob the palace. Down with Bothwell! Down with the Queen! Kill Bothwell! Kill the Queen!
Listen to them. Oh, listen to them.
They're celebrating our wedding, my dear. You see how joyous it makes them. Oh, come away from the windows.
People have always been kind to me. I never thought they'd storm my gates.
Mary, I have arranged passage for you to England. Elizabeth will shelter you until your people quiet down.
And you?
I'm going to Denmark.
Could I not go to Denmark with you?
Oh, no, my dear. I will encounter much danger until I'm out of Scotland. But I believe you will be safe once I have left your side. Elizabeth will shelter you, and in a short time you can return to your kingdom.
Oh, my darling.
Well, we've lived our hours, Mary, and now we've reached the end of them.
England. That name is like an icy hand touching my heart. Let me stay here where I belong.
If you stay here, you'll be killed.
I? Killed? I am the queen.
You forget you were a queen, Mary. You forgot you were a queen, and when you forgot, your people forgot. You had no choice but to leave for a time, Mary. You would not be safe for a moment with me, and Elizabeth will only protect you if you go to her alone. Those were her terms.
If you wish me to go, I'll go.
I do wish it.
I wish it could be otherwise.
Love for a queen comes high, Mary.
I love you now, and will forever.
My darling. My darling. Thank you for all the things that I will remember. For your laughter and for your tears. And for the feel of your hand in mine. For your lips and for your eyes. For the mornings and for the afternoons and the evenings. For listening to my hopes and my dreams and smiling upon them. And thank you most of all for your love and for your trust. You've been all that a woman could be and should be. And for me, there will ne'er be lips or arms again unless they're yours. And now, goodbye, my beloved.
Bothwell. Oh, Bothwell.
Goodbye, my dearest.
Bothwell, wait. When will I see you? Where will I see you?
Goodbye, my
The carriage is at the gate. The Queen is leaving now. You can see her from here.
I don't want to watch her go.
She sent you a note. I have it here.
Thank you. My dearest, somehow I think that I will die in England. I will die far from the moors and the heather that I have always loved. And I will be dying for my throne.
I left him a note, Martha. I said, I will be a queen now. If I've blundered, they were human blunders. And I'm paying a great price for them. It isn't the throne so much as what the throne stands for. Scotland, yesterday and today, and all the tomorrows of the future. Scottish people who will love the bracken and the thistle, who will love the small towns and the great cities, the moors, the highlands, the lowlands, and the sea. Scottish people who will measure and evaluate their rulers with the unemotional eyes of the future. They will say...
They will say Mary made mistakes. Yes, Mary made mistakes, but Mary was not a coward. In her final years, Mary learned the destiny of a queen and met it unafraid. Mary died more queen to Scotland than she lived. She is my queen, New Craig. She is my queen, and no more, my lady. But she will always be the life of my heart. And someday we shall be together again in God's time. Until that time, goodbye, my darling.
Goodbye, my darling.
Ladies, all too often, women pay the penalty of fading before their time. They're guilty of throwing away their natural youthfulness simply because they fail to live sensibly and get enough of certain indispensable vitamins and iron. Now, don't let that happen to you. Don't you so heedlessly surrender your youthful charm. Just live sensibly and take Vitamins Plus once each day. You see, Vitamins Plus gives you full protective amounts of all the certain indispensable vitamins and iron that you must have to look and feel as young as you should. Be sure to make it your health charm routine. Vitamins Plus, just once each day.
I am Adventure. Next week, listen to one of the most famous romances of all time. A story of burning desert sands and midnight rendezvous. The story of a girl who went into the desert in search of excitement and met that glamorous, exciting lover, the Sheik. Until next week, then, I am dangerously yours.
Our script was written by Jean Holloway and directed by Richard Sandville. Mary, Queen of Scots, was played by Gertrude Warner. Music for the series is under the direction of Mark Warno. Be sure to listen again next week when Dangerously Yours presents The Sheik, starring Victor Jory. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Vicks, makers of Vicks Vatronol Nose Drops, presents Dangerously Yours, a half hour of romance and adventure starring Victor Jory in The Sheik. You know, more and more millions of people are using Vicks Vatronol Nose Drops to relieve distress of head colds. Benefit by their experience. And now, Dangerously Yours.
I am Adventure. In my name, men have traversed the highways, the byways, the skyways of the world. I have walked with beggars, ridden with knights in armor, sailed with pirates. I am the fire that burns in the heart of youth, that makes men dream and dare and conquer. I am dangerously yours. Today, follow me to the deserts of Arabia. Meet a girl who was proud, beautiful, and young, and meet the man who is determined to conquer her, a prince among all Arabs and in the eyes of all women, the Sheik.
Hands I loved beside the Shalimar. Where are you now? Where are you now?
Ah, that is beautiful, Effendi.
Thank you. You're sure about the girl, Gaston?
I could not be mistaken, my master. She is the daughter of Dr. Winthrop, and she rides her horse this way every afternoon.
And the fates are smiling on me. I shall have the revenge I promised my father I would take.
Wait until you see her. Such beauty, such lips, such eyes, such hair. Sacre bleu, what an armful she will make.
I'm not interested in her beauty. I can get 1,000 beautiful women without going to the trouble of stealing them.
Ah, but not like her.
I'm only interested in making her suffer, the way her father made me suffer.
Master, look. I think I see her. Yes, that is she. I recognize her horse.
Good. I shall ride out to meet her. Good afternoon. It's not necessary that you should. Come, I think you will ride easy on my horse with my arm.
Stop! Let me go.
Hold still, you little fool.
Go, let me
It's
go.
useless to struggle.
Let me go. You hear me? Let me go.
Not a chance, Miss Winthrop. I've waited too long for this moment. This tent is your home. I hope you'll find it worthy. It's rather nice, don't you think? These 2 hanging lamps are a gift from the Shah of Persia.
I'm not interested in your lamps. I'm still waiting for an explanation of all this.
Do you always ask so many questions? I think you must have asked 100 for every mile of our journey.
And you told me nothing.
That was because you fought and screamed. You're calm now, so what would you like to know?
I demand to know why you dragged me from my horse and brought me here.
I demand to know what you want.
Why, your company, of course. What else? Don't you think that tapestry is attractive? It was made by 100 slave women in Baghdad, and it took them 11 years. Those silken curtains around your bed over there came from Paris, and the bed itself is over 1,000 years old.
Very interesting. But I'm more interested in you. Who are you?
I am the Sheikh Ahmed bin Hassan.
Why have you brought me here?
Perhaps because you're beautiful. You see, I've never seen a woman with skin so soft or so fair, or hair so silken, or lips so red. I wondered what it would be like to touch that skin, to kiss those lips. And so I brought you here to find out.
You always carry off anyone who attracts you?
Always.
Well, you've carried off the wrong girl this time. Look, my friend, let's not play games. Just let me have my horse and let me go.
Why, what's your hurry? You just got here.
You surely are not stupid enough to think you can keep me here against my will. My family and my friends are no doubt searching for me right now.
They'll never find you. We're far in the desert. It's not easy to find an Arab tribe out here if the tribe doesn't want to be found.
You have everything figured out, haven't you?
I always have everything figured out. Now get out of those riding breeches and dress for dinner. You'll find a gown, a very lovely Paris gown, there on the bed.
Are you completely insane? You think I'd dress for dinner for you?
Perhaps you'd like me to dress you.
Oh, I really think you'll do it.
You can be sure I will if it's necessary. So I will expect you in half an hour dressed for dinner. You'll find me in the next tent. Don't keep me waiting. Till then...
Oh, you conceited, arrogant, egotistical...
She's very beautiful, is she not, my master?
She is more beautiful than any woman I've ever seen in my life.
What are you going to do with her?
I'm going to make love to her. I'm going to hurt her and humiliate her in every way I can. I'm going to take all the pride out of her and send her back.
I feel a little sorry for her. She did not do anything to you. She is not to blame for what...
Her father could have saved my mother's life when she was ill. My father, who never bowed to any man, got down on his knees and begged Dr. Winthrop to come into the desert to treat her. But he refused. My mother died. My father made me take an oath in blood that I would avenge my mother's death. And I'm going to avenge her.
How sad it is that you must hate her when it would be so much nicer to love her.
Love makes a man soft and weak. It is not for the strong. I love no woman. I have no time for love. You haven't eaten much dinner.
I'm not hungry. You could hardly expect me to be.
I don't know why not. You've been riding all day. I'm starved. You look very lovely. That dress does things to you.
If I ever get away from you, I'll burn it.
By that time, it will be old enough to burn. You know, you not only walk like a leopard, you also have the disposition of one.
I have a few words that would describe you, too. But a lady doesn't say them aloud.
What I said was a compliment. Did you ever see a leopard walk? It's slow and graceful.
You've noticed, I suppose, that it's always safest to admire a leopard from a distance.
Yes, and you will notice that I have little thought for safety. Come. Come with me.
Is that a command?
Only if you're going to be arbitrary.
How is it that a desert sheik speaks perfect English?
I was educated in England, at Oxford.
Indeed. One would think you might have learned some manners there.
There are certain things about Arabs that even England can't change. Come with me.
Oh, well, I suppose I have no other choice.
No, you have not. Come. It's a beautiful night, isn't it?
It might be, in better company. The desert under the moon is beautiful. I've always loved it.
Ah, but my dear, you cannot love the desert unless you've loved an Arab. Look at this sand. Hold it against your cheek. See, it is still warm. We have a saying among our people, I will love you until the sands grow cold.
Where is that music coming from?
Some of my men are playing. That's one of my favorite songs. Do you know it?
Yes. It's the Kashmiri song, a Hindu song. And a sad one.
You're very quiet. What are you thinking?
I was thinking how much I hated you.
You're lying, Diane. You couldn't be thinking that. Not under these stars listening to that music. Your eyes are more tender than your words.
And your heart is warm.
Don't
and
flatter
how
yourself.
soft your skin is.
Take your hand off.
And your lips are like crushed roses, as smooth as velvet under mine.
Stop.
Diane.
You make love very clumsily. I've never been kissed by a sheik before. I don't particularly care if I never am again.
You little devil, I'll tame you.
Put me down. Put me down.
No, my dear, not yet. You'll know a lot more about the kisses of a sheik before I put you down.
Pardon, mademoiselle. Pardon, mademoiselle, but it is almost noon. I have your breakfast here. Good morning, mademoiselle.
Good morning. Oh, who are you?
I am Gaston, Miss Diane. I am valet and cook to the Sheikh Ahmed Ben Hassan. I have brought you your breakfast.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Get out of here. I'm not accustomed to men servants or sheiks walking into my bedroom.
But you're very young. You'll get over that. Gaston.
Yes, Effendi.
Mademoiselle might enjoy a ride this afternoon. If so, you will accompany her and see that she does not go more than 3 miles from camp.
Yes, Effendi.
That's very generous of you, I'm sure.
Well, I'll be away all day. You'll have to have some amusement while I'm gone. You look lovely this morning. Did you spend the night dreaming about me?
I spent the night dreaming about how to get away from you.
Oh, you'll get over that, too. I'm going out to break a colt. If you'd care to watch how I handle rebels, come along.
No, thank you.
Just as you like. You may ride this afternoon if Gaston goes with you.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Master, the girl is gone. Diane is gone.
What do you mean she's gone? What happened?
We were riding. She said she wanted to rest. I dismounted to help her down, and she whipped my horse and rode off by herself.
You mean she left you alone in the desert on foot?
Oh, that I do not mind, Effendi. But she is alone and helpless and riding straight toward the camp of Ibrahim Omer. And if she falls into his hands, sacre bleu.
My kinsman and ancient enemy would be well pleased to see her. The little fool. Run, Gaston. Call the men. Have them saddle the horses at once.
Yes, Effendi.
What horse is she riding?
Your favorite, Zulika.
Fastest in the desert. Well, she'll have to stop to rest, and with luck, we'll catch up with her. Come on.
Master, I see her. Look, a white horse. It is Zulika.
Yes, that is she. We're in luck. Stay with the men, Gaston. I'll ride ahead and get her. Diane, stop! Diane, stop! You little fool, stop, I tell you! Diane, I cannot catch Zulika on this horse. If you don't stop, I'll shoot. I will shoot your horse, Diane! Are you hurt?
No.
Oh, you fool, you little fool.
Is Zulika dead?
Yes, my Zulika is dead. That was my favorite horse. I loved her more than I could love a human being, and I killed her to save you.
Save me? What do you mean?
You were riding straight for the tents of my greatest enemy. And though at this moment I would like to kill you myself, I would not let Omer get his hands on you. I would not let that happen to the most miserable of women under my protection.
She's a beautiful animal. I didn't think you'd kill her.
I never make a threat I don't intend to keep.
You hate me, don't you?
Well, I'm not overly fond of you at the moment. Come on, we'd better start back.
What are you going to do to me?
I'm going to send you back to civilization where you belong. I think you've seen enough of the desert. And I know the desert has seen enough of you. You've been begging and pleading to get back. Well, you shall have your wish. And that's your cue to say, I hate you.
Oh, no. That's my cue to say, I'm sorry.
In just a moment, we will bring you the second act of The Sheik. Now, here's a warning to you folks who are suffering from late summer head colds that cause such all-over misery. To relieve the sniffly, sneezy, stuffy distress, just put a few drops of Vatronol in each nostril. It brings such grand comfort so fast and so direct. You can actually feel Vatronol go to work right where trouble is, as it quickly reduces swelling, soothes irritation, and helps relieve nasal congestion to make breathing easier. Vatronol is a specialized medication, friends, made for the express purpose of relieving the distress of head colds. And if your nose is stuffed up at bedtime, a few drops of Vatronol invite restful sleep. Try it. And keep a bottle handy, ready to use promptly when you catch a head cold. Follow directions in the folder. Vicks Vatronol Nose Drops. And now, the second act of Dangerously Yours, starring Victor Jory in The Sheik.
Oh, don't stop. You have a beautiful voice.
I'm afraid I have no heart for singing tonight.
Is there anything I can say that will make you forgive me for the death of Zuleika?
The horse is dead and the past is past. Let us forget it.
I don't blame you for despising me, but if you hadn't brought me out here, it wouldn't have happened. Ahmed, why did you bring me?
I don't quite know. I was a little drunk with your beauty, I guess. And not thinking very clearly.
I wish it had been because you loved me. I could have respected that.
If I had, I think that this evening when I caught you that I would have killed you. Come, get your things together. Gaston and the men will be coming.
You're sending me away tonight?
Yes. I'm sending along an escort of 40 men. They'll take you to the edge of town. Gaston will see you safely to your hotel.
I put on the dress you liked. You haven't even noticed. Ahmed, look at me.
Diane, let's understand each other. I carried you off because you were beautiful and I wanted you. Now I'm sending you back. I don't want you anymore.
Why are you saying these things? Ahmed, what is it? Don't tell me you hate me just because I tried to escape. It's deeper and more bitter than that. Why did you bring me here?
I've told you.
I'm not satisfied with your reason. It's a stupid reason, and you're far from a stupid man. Ahmed, tell me. I have a right to know. Ahmed, you've done a terrible thing to me.
A terrible thing?
Yes. Because, you see, I've fallen in love with you. I never wanted love. I was happy as I was until you kissed me. What right did you have to kiss me? To storm your way to my heart and then say, forget me. How can I leave and never be happy again? What right do you have to do that to me?
The right any man has to cast aside something he has looked upon and found unworthy.
Oh, please, Ahmed, that's not fair. Why don't you tell me the truth? Why did you bring me here?
All right, I'll tell you. I brought you here because I hate your family. Your father could have saved my mother's life, and he refused to do it. And I swore by Allah that some member of the Winthrop family would pay for it. I plotted this from the time you came to the desert. I carried you off and made love to you, knowing all the time I was going to cast you aside, and I did it deliberately to humiliate you. That's why I brought you here. Love you? Why, I could love any woman in the world before I could love you. But it's true.
So, I'm unworthy of you. Well, let me tell you something. You're a fine, brave man, aren't you, Sheikh Ahmed Ben Hassan? You exact a stern vengeance. A vengeance which breaks the heart of a woman. Well, you won your vengeance. I hope you consider it a proud victory. I'll wait in my tent until Gaston comes for me. And the sooner the better.
Mademoiselle brushed right by me. You did not see me. She was so angry. You were a bit hard on her, my master. I could not help overhearing.
You attend to your own business, Gaston.
I was only 3 miles from home when she left me. It did not hurt me to walk. I am too fat anyhow. And you killed the horse yourself. It is not fair to blame her for that.
Gaston, I seriously consider hanging you by your thumbs.
I should be very uncomfortable hanging by my thumbs.
Then keep quiet.
But, Effendi, you accomplished your purpose. You humiliated her. Her pride is gone. It is completely gone.
Yes. I accomplished my purpose.
On the other hand, I knew a man once who cut off his nose. He was never happy without it.
Oh, go and get ready. And the quicker you get that girl out of this camp, the happier I'll be.
You know what I think? I think you love her.
Get out of here, you. Get out of here.
How foolish love can make a wise man.
Get out of here!
So you're mounted and ready to leave.
Yes.
Diane, I suppose there's no use trying to explain.
Explain? You explained yourself quite fully.
But I was just talking words. I thought I meant them, but I didn't. Oh, Diane, can't you see that I've fallen in love with you?
I wish I could believe that. Oh, I wish I could believe it. I'd get twice the pleasure out of riding away and leaving you. Goodbye. And I hope I never see you again.
I don't think you ever will. Goodbye. All right, men. On your way.
Beside the Chalamont.
Oh.
Master!
Yes, Gaston, what is it?
Gaston!
Good heaven, man, you're covered with blood. What happened?
We were attacked by the men of Ibrahim Omer.
Attacked?
Yes, and they carried her off. The girl. There were at least 100 of them. You must do something, Effendi. You must save the girl.
Ali, Hassan, Yusuf! Sound the alarm. We ride for the tents of Omer. Faster, men. Faster. There's no time to lose. Come on! Faster! Faster!
Well, my pretty one. So you're the Englishwoman my kinsman, the Sheikh Ahmed, stole from her people. Well, you're even more exciting to look upon than I had been told.
And you're just as repulsive as I'd expect you to be.
What? You're not afraid to talk to me like that? I could snap your neck with one twist of my fingers. See? Like this.
Yes? Well, at this moment, I don't care if you do. See?
My kinsman, the great fool, must have made you unhappy. I shall make him suffer for that. And I, personally, shall make you much happier.
Get away from me, you fat clown. Get away from me.
Oh, now come to me, my little pigeon. Do not flutter around like that. I do not wish to chase you.
Away from me, you filthy beast.
So you defy me. Well, I have a cure for that. I have
To arms! There are many horsemen coming! To arms!
It's Ahmed. Oh, dear God, please, it must be Ahmed.
I hope it is.
Ahmed! Ahmed! Ahmed!
Keep still, I will choke the words in your throat.
Diane!
Diane! Take your hands off your dog! Take your hands off!
Ahmed! You're choking him to death! Ahmed!
He'll never bother you again.
Ahmed, look behind you! Ahmed!
Well, Sheikh Ahmed bin Hassan, it seems we must settle a score for our master, eh? Come on!
Gaston, he's so still. He won't die, will he? Gaston, he won't die.
I do not think so, mademoiselle.
But he's so white. I'm frightened.
He's only stunned, mademoiselle. It was a blow on the head.
Water.
See? He's all right. Here, my master.
Oh, Gaston, I love him so much. I can't help myself.
I know, mademoiselle.
I wish I could believe that he loves me.
He risked his life for you tonight, mademoiselle.
Yes. He almost gave his life.
Diane.
Yes, darling, I'm here. Oh, Ahmed, I love you. I love
love you so much. Oh, my darling, my darling.
You're all right, Diane.
Yes, dear, I'm all right.
You won't leave me, will you?
No. I'll stay as long as you want me to. As long as you need me.
I'm sorry, Diane. I mean, I'm sorry about everything. You weren't to blame for what your father did.
I think there's something you should know about my father. You see, Ahmed, he was the only doctor in this country for a long time. Perhaps your father never told you there was an epidemic of typhus in the town at the time. And if he'd left, it might have meant many deaths. I know because he told me the story before he died. He always regretted losing your father's friendship.
Oh, I'm glad to know that, Diane. And I'm not going to ask you to forgive me. I haven't any right to forgiveness.
Darling, there's nothing to forgive. I understand. And I love you. I want to marry you and stay with you. Stay with you always.
Oh, my dearest. Once, when I was not in love with you, I would have said, stay because I'm lonely. Oh, but now I cannot let you stay. You'd be unhappy here. The life we lead is no life for a woman like you.
Ahmed, you're wrong. This is just the life for someone like me. You went to England, but you came back to the desert because you loved it. And so I choose it, too. I came to the desert because something stronger than myself drew me here. And I belong here just as much as you do. Don't send me away. You've shown me great happiness. Don't take it away from me.
Oh, you'll have a devil for a husband. You know my temper. I may even beat you. Arabs do beat their wives on occasion.
I can take care of myself. You'll get a few scratches if you try it. And you'll love me more than you'll beat me.
Oh, yes, that is certainly true. I will love you more than I'll beat you.
And, of course, I do insist on one thing.
Yeah?
You will have only one wife. It is a custom in our country.
Only one wife? One?
Only one.
Not even an extra one?
Not one extra.
Do you think you can be all to me that 60 wives could be?
I'll try.
I'm sure you will. Oh, darling, I'm very grateful that you love me and want to stay. Much as I have loved the desert, I don't know that I could go on loving it without you.
Listen. Someone else is singing our song.
Let someone sing it now. That's a sad song, and I have no longer any need for it, or even time for it. With you in my arms. Oh, darling.
Just live sensibly and take Vitamins Plus once each day. Vitamins Plus gives you full protective amounts of all the certain indispensable vitamins and iron you must have to feel and look as young and vitally alive as you should. So be sure to make it your health charm routine. Vitamins Plus, just once each day.
I am Adventure. Next week, meet a man who was both daring lover and brilliant knave. One of the most exciting men of his day. Benvenuto Cellini, the firebrand. Until next week, then, I am dangerously yours.
Our script was written by Gene Holloway from the novel The Sheik by E.M. Hull. Dangerously Yours was directed by Richard Sanville. Diane was played by Gertrude Warner. Music for the series is under the direction of Mark Warnow.
Be sure and listen in again next week when Vicks presents Dangerously Yours, starring Victor Jory in The Firebrand. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Vicks, the makers of Vicks Vatronol Nose Drops, presents Dangerously Yours, starring Victor Jory in The Firebrand. You know, more and more millions of people are using Vicks Vatronol Nose Drops to relieve distress of head colds. Benefit by their experience. And now, Dangerously Yours.
I am Adventure. In my name, men have traversed the highways, the byways, the skyways of the world. I am the fire that burns in the heart of youth, that makes men dream and dare and conquer. I am dangerously yours. Come with me today to the Italy of the 16th century, a day when the smile or the frown of a duke would mean life or death, when ladies were the fragile, lovely prizes of the brave and daring, and when the bravest and most daring man in Florence was Benvenuto Cellini, the Firebrand.
Now, see here, Benvenuto Cellini. This is the 6th time you've been brought before me for roistering, and I'm tired of it. You may be one of the best silversmiths in the world. You may even be, as you say, the best. But you are also a rascal, a rogue, and an unmitigated liar.
Your Excellency, you wound me deeply with your words.
I'll wound you with more than words if you don't behave yourself.
But you don't understand. I'm constantly being persecuted by my enemies.
Oh, now, Cellini, everyone in Florence can't be your enemy. If they are, then I would do well to have you executed immediately.
It's not everyone in Florence. It's Ottaviano and his band of cutthroats.
Ottaviano is one of my trusted friends, even if he did try to kill me 3 years ago, and a far better citizen of Florence than you.
Then let Ottaviano finish the medal I've been making for you to commemorate your greatness for all time to come.
A medal? Greatness. Well, I'm going to spare you this time, Cellini, but one more scrape of any nature, and I'm going to have you beheaded. You may go now. I'm seriously displeased with you, and I do not wish to look upon your face any longer. Take it out of my sight quickly before I change my mind and deal severely with you.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Thank you, Your Excellency. Your kindness is the light of Florence. Your wisdom is the pride of Florence. Florence loves you, and I love you.
Oh, get out. By the way, Cellini, that little dancer at the Cafe d'Italia...
You shall have her address tonight.
Address? Whose address? Oh, yes. Thank you, Cellini. Mind you, not a word to anyone.
Not a word. Good day, Your Excellency. Your most gracious Excellency.
Mind you, watch your step.
Well, Cellini, how was your interview with the Duke?
Better than you hoped, Ottaviano. He pardoned me.
You'd not be in trouble so often, Cellini, if you'd serve my interests instead of your own and the Duke's.
The Duke is my master. And you are a traitor, a liar, a thief, a cheat, a scoundrel. Good day, Ottaviano. If you don't mind, I need a little fresh air.
Signor Cellini.
Yes?
Her Excellency, the Duchess requests that you come to her apartments before you leave.
The Duchess?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, here's a piece of gold for you. Tell the Duchess you are not able to catch me.
Yes, Signor Cellini. But I think you're crazy.
Cellini! Benvenuto Cellini, where have you been? Where are you going in such a hurry?
Greetings, Pierre. I've been having my weekly scolding from the Duke, and I'm going to see the most beautiful girl in the world.
I have heard that the Duke is out of patience with you. Take heed, Benvenuto. Don't be reckless. Once your head is cut off, there will be no putting it back.
I will be careful. Pierre, have you ever seen such a day in Florence? Oh, look at that beautiful blue sky, at that wonderful sunshine, at those enchanting beggars. Throw them a coin, Pierre.
Here.
Grazie.
What on earth has gotten into you?
For the first time in his life, Benvenuto Cellini, the greatest silversmith in the world, the most exciting lover, the most brilliant inventor and artist, Benvenuto the handsome, the reckless, the magnificent, is in love.
One of the things I admire about you is your modesty.
Modesty? What is that?
You are right to ask.
No, that Angela. Oh, Pierre, that Angela is truly from heaven. Do you know I love her so much that I'm afraid to take her in my arms? I've not even kissed her, but I'm going to marry her.
Marry? That I should live to hear such a word on your lips.
I'm going to marry her.
You may have some trouble accomplishing that. I understand Maffio has a great liking for the same lady. And Maffio is no mean swordsman.
Maffio, that tool of Ottaviano, has he dared to look at my Angela?
You don't own the girl, you know, just because she's your model.
If Maffio so much as dares to speak to her again, I'll cut him into little pieces and feed him to the sharks.
Will you now? Well, that's very interesting, Cellini.
Good afternoon, Maffio. It doesn't surprise me in the least that you sneak up behind people and listen to conversations that are none of your affair.
But obviously this one is my affair. Just what makes you think you can say what ladies I am to see and what ladies I am not to see?
I'm not interested in what ladies you see, Maffio, so long as you stay away from Angela.
Well, now, I like Angela, and I don't choose to stay away from her. After all, she's a nobody.
Nobody? I'll kill you for that.
Yeah? You're welcome to try, Cellini. I'd just as soon see you dead as not. Then there will be no obstacles between Angela and me.
Do not fight him, Benvenuto. Remember the Duke.
Why do you hesitate, Benvenuto? Are you afraid to fight me?
Afraid? Do you think so? You do not fence as well as you talk, my friend.
You'll see how well I fence, Cellini. Particularly when I fight for a woman.
How do you like the taste of blood, Maffio?
I'll have your life before I'm done with you. And then I'll have the lovely Angela.
You like? There, my friend. How do you like that?
He's done for. Come quickly. We've got to get out of here. The Duke is sure to be after you any minute.
You're right. Say a prayer for me, will you, Pierre? You're on much better footing with heaven than I.
Not with the angels, Cellini. Not with the angels.
Angela, oh, my Angela, I love you. Don't you think you could love me at all?
I think you're a splendid artist, and it's a great honor to be your model.
Would you never think of me except with a chisel or a paintbrush in my hand? I'm a man as well as an artist. Oh, Angela, if you will but love me, I will take your hands and fill them with stars, and I will take your heart and fill it with fire. Angela, never in my life have I asked a woman to marry me. But I ask you.
I don't know. I don't know, Benvenuto. See, I've been waiting for a very special man.
What kind of man? I'm the most romantic man in Florence.
Oh, first of all, he must be someone who'll be constant and never look at another woman.
Such a man never lived. Angela, do you love me?
What is love, Benvenuto? Tell me what love is, and I'll try to tell you if I love you.
Why, love is lightning and thunder and music and excitement. Love is a flame in the dark. Love is a challenge that sends the blood surging through you and puts the steadiest heart off beat. Love is you, Angela.
Oh, Benvenuto. You're so much older and so much wiser than I. But I know far more of love than you. All those things are the beginnings of love, but they're not love.
No? Then what is love, my Angela?
If I told you, you'd laugh because you wouldn't understand. But perhaps one day you'll know more about love. And when you do, perhaps that day I'll marry you.
In the name of all the saints, was there ever a man so plagued by a woman? Angela, listen to me and try to understand. To me, you are the mystery man must live on beyond bread, the wonder and glory of the world. I'm mad about your hair, I'm enraptured with your eyes, and I'm jealous that God and not I created you.
Benvenuto, it's no use.
Do not interrupt me when I'm speaking so well.
Oh, pardon me.
You are the bell which awakens me and the bell which says, rest. I love you like an angel, I love you like a man, and I will always love you.
Open the door in the name of the Duke. Open the door.
That's Ottaviano's voice, and the Duke is with him. Benvenuto, are you in trouble again?
Yes, I killed Maffio this morning.
Oh, you must try to escape.
I'll not run like a coward.
Cellini?
Come in. Welcome, Your Excellency. My poor house is honored by your presence. Come in, Ottaviano.
Cellini, this time you have angered me beyond all endurance.
I fear you've been listening to my enemies, Your Excellency.
Your crimes are your enemies.
My lord, you are angry with me unjustly.
He does not hesitate to rebuke even you, Your Excellency.
You'd like to see me dead, wouldn't you, Ottaviano? I'll wager my next fee that you set Maffio on me with the full intent that we should kill one another.
My lord, do not listen to this outrageous fellow.
Cellini, Ottaviano tells me that this morning, after giving me your word to behave yourself, you spilled more blood in the streets of Florence.
Well, but in self-defense, my lord, in self-defense. Maffio attacked me. He attacked me with a whole regiment at his heels.
Your murders are notorious, Cellini.
Ottaviano, you would not dare to say that except in the presence of my lord.
Am I to take that as proof of your peaceful nature, Cellini?
I cannot be peaceful when I'm insulted. I try to pattern myself too much after Your Excellency.
After me? Well, I must admit that was neatly said.
Does my lord forget this morning's murder?
Murder? Murder? No, I do not forget this morning's murder. Cellini, I do not believe you. And no matter what proof you have, I will not believe you. You have caused much grief and bloodshed in Florence. Therefore, in full justice, I sentence you...
Please, my lord, do not sentence him to death.
Well, who are you? Come here to me, my child. Why would you have me spare this assassin?
Because...
Well, speak up. Speak up.
Because I love him, Your Excellency.
Angela.
You love this rascal, this scoundrel, this rogue who sheds blood as though it were water and steals women's hearts as if they were pennies? You love him?
I've struggled very hard against it, Your Excellency. But I cannot help myself. I do love him with my whole heart.
Well, loving Cellini seems to be a state of mind that every girl in Florence goes through at one age or another. You're certain you're in love with him?
Yes, my lord.
You know, I've taken quite a fancy to you. I'm going to help you get over this fellow. How would you like to come with me to my summer palace?
Tell him no, Angela.
No, Your Excellency.
If you will come with me, I will spare his life. But if you insist on staying with him, I will most surely hang him. Well, what do you say to that?
Why, but I will go, of course, my lord.
Oh, Angela, don't do this. Angela, I can't lose you now. My lord, what do you think the Duchess is going to say to this?
Duchess? Oh, dear me, look here. One word to the Duchess and you die. You're a very lucky fellow to be alive at all. Come, my dear. Oh, never mind the dress of that dancer, Benvenuto. I'm not interested after all.
I swear I'd like to...
Tut, Benvenuto. Remember, I am Your Excellency. Yes, Cellini, I order you to remain in your house, and under no circumstances to leave it without my permission. Come, everybody. Come.
Benvenuto.
She's gone, Pierre. She's gone, and the stars have gone out, and the moon has gone out. And Florence is a wilderness.
You'll get over it. And meanwhile, I have a message for you from the Duchess.
The Duchess? Devil take the Duchess.
The Duchess, my friend, wants to know if you will come to the Summer Palace for a few weeks.
Summer Palace?
She says she will tell the Duke that you are there to devise a decoration for the fountain.
The Summer Palace? The Summer Palace?
Yes. Shall I still tell the Duchess to go to the devil?
Tell the Duchess to go to the devil? How could you think of such a thing?
You'll never live to be old, my friend.
Maybe not, Pierre. Maybe not. But I'll have twice as much fun out of life as those who do. I don't care whether I live to be old or not, so long as I can be young with Angela. Come, I'm going to the Summer Palace tonight, even if I die tomorrow morning.
In just a moment, we'll bring you the second act of The Firebrand. The old saying, a stitch in time saves 9, is certainly true in connection with head colds at this time of the year. It's wise to act quickly when you feel an early fall head cold coming on. Wise to relieve those sniffles and sneezes as quickly as you can, because neglected head colds can cause a great deal of needless suffering. Now, here's a good tip. You may easily and quickly relieve the distress of head colds with Vicks Vatronol. Just put a few drops in each nostril, and Vatronol goes to work right where trouble is. And Vatronol does more than relieve the sneezy irritation and reduce nasal stuffiness. It also actually helps prevent many colds from developing if used in time. That's why thousands of people use double-duty Vatronol. Now, try Vatronol yourself, friends. You'll like the way it works. Just follow the directions in the folder. Vicks Vatronol, the double-duty nose drops. And now, the second act of Dangerously Yours, starring Victor Jory in The Firebrand.
Your Excellency. Oh, go away. Go away, Ottaviano. I'm very busy talking to Angela. I came here to the Summer Palace for a little rest and quiet.
But I have news of the gravest importance.
It will wait until tomorrow.
Cellini has escaped.
Then order the soldiers to catch him and leave me alone.
But, Your Excellency, he plots against your life. He will surely kill you because you've stolen Angela.
Oh, what a tiresome fellow. What a bore. Well, this is the last straw. The camel's back is broken. We order that Cellini be hanged directly he is caught, and we give the matter into your hands for execution. Now go away.
Yes, Your Excellency. One more thing. The Duchess has arrived.
My wife? Here? In the Summer Palace?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Sometimes I wish I were dead, and this is one of them. What was that?
Come on!
It looks like Palverino. The man's badly wounded.
Palverino!
I'm wounded. Unto death, I fear.
Who attacked you? Who has done such a monstrous thing?
Cellini.
Ah, Cellini.
By my troth, that man shall die for this.
They've probably found Palverino's body by now. If there was ever hope for me, it's long since vanished. You should not have killed him, Pierre. And I should never have come to the Summer Palace.
But he jumped on your back. If I had not thrown my dagger when I did, he would have plunged his own into you. Better a dead Palverino than a dead Cellini.
Me. I don't know why I attract so much trouble. I'm always in trouble. Sometimes I wish I were dead. Maybe I should let the Duke catch me. He can only kill me once. Then I won't need to worry anymore.
Listen. Isn't that Angela?
It is. It is Angela. Oh, how many times I've heard that voice in my dreams.
She's moving away.
I must talk to her, Pierre. I must speak to my adored one. I'll carry her away from the Duke or die in the attempt.
Oh, Cellini, would you really carry me away from the Duke?
The Duchess.
Good afternoon, my most gracious lady.
I have been waiting for you, Benvenuto. I wondered if you would come.
How could I stay away? I came through rivers of blood. Palverino tried to keep me from your side, and I had to kill him.
You shall be pardoned, Benvenuto, if you make your request in a sweet enough manner. Come with me.
Pierre.
Oh, surely Pierre need not come. Let us be alone together. Just you and I, Benvenuto.
Yes, Your Grace.
You sound so strange. Are you ill or in pain?
I am in pain, Your Grace, by your hand. You'll never know what you're doing to my heart.
You'll never know what you have done to mine. Come, Benvenuto, come.
Your Grace, give me but one moment to speak to Pierre, and I shall be at your side.
I'll await you. Do not keep me waiting long.
I shall not. Kill me, Pierre. Take your dagger and plunge it into my heart. I can stand no more of this.
Is this Cellini talking? Benvenuto Cellini, who snaps his fingers at fate and takes what he wants from life?
Assuredly it is not.
Go find the girl. Carry her off. If you only have a few more hours to live, live recklessly and beautifully the way you've always lived. You're Cellini, the most handsome of lovers, the most skilled of silversmiths, the most glorious man in Florence.
Go on, Pierre. You're convincing.
You're a legend, a symbol of gallantry and romance that will live forever.
Well,
you were the man that every woman dreams about and every man envies. You're the charm of the moonlight, the sparkle of wine, the dash of the conqueror. You're magnificent.
You are right. I am magnificent. I will go find Angela. I'll see you later, Pierre.
What a liar I am.
Angela, oh, my Angela.
Benvenuto, I wondered if you'd come for me.
Where's the Duke?
Waiting for me.
The Duchess is waiting for me. I told her I had to speak to Pierre. Oh, Angela.
Yes, Benvenuto. Oh, why don't you say something? Where are all the words that used to come so magnificently to your tongue?
It's funny, but I can't think of them. All I can think is that you're beautiful. And I'd like to spend the rest of my life at your feet. Whether it's 60 years or 60 hours or 60 minutes. Angela, for the first time in my life, I wish my name were not Benvenuto Cellini. I wish I had a more humble name and a humble house to take you to. I wish I could say, if God continues to smile on me, I'll have 60 years and they're yours if you'll have me. Oh, Angela, you make me want to be so much better than I am. I love you very much. So very much.
Once you asked me what love was. And I wouldn't tell you for fear you'd laugh. But what I would have said is that love is growing old together. Growing old loving the same things. And loving each other.
Come back to Florence with me and marry me tonight. It may not be for 60 years, Angela. It may only be for 60 hours. Perhaps less.
I'll marry you, whether it's for a few hours or 60 years.
Oh, come, let us hurry. Let us hurry home, my Angela.
Open in the name of the Duke. Open in the name of His Excellency, the Duke of Florence.
Benvenuto. Benvenuto, my darling, he's here. He's here, and we've not had 60 hours.
Come, we'll let him in.
Well, there you are, Angela, and here you are, Cellini, you scoundrel.
You told me to stay here in my own house, Your Excellency.
Did you obey me?
Well, no. I had a mission that took me briefly to the Summer Palace.
Was that mission to steal Angela and kill Polverino?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Cellini, I've come here to see that you are executed, and nothing is going to change my mind this time. I've been looking forward to it all morning. Take him away.
Farewell, Angela.
No, wait. My lord, you've not heard him tell why he killed Polverino. He did it to save you.
Save me? Why, bless my soul, bless my soul. How could that possibly be possible?
I sent a message to Cellini to come and save you. I heard Ottaviano and Polverino plotting. Ottaviano ordered Polverini to kill you.
That's a lie.
Be quiet, Ottaviano. Your opinion does not count. What else did he say?
I fear to tell you, my lord.
Oh, speak up, my child. Speak up.
Well, if you must know, Ottaviano said you were a long-eared donkey.
What? Why, I'll hang him in Cellini's place. A long-eared donkey? I don't have long ears at all.
That's a lie. The girl's in love with Cellini. She's just trying to save his life.
Well, I hope it's a lie. Donkey, I was considered the bright boy of the family.
I say, let's string Cellini up and have an end of him.
It seems to me you're overly anxious to have Cellini hanged, Ottaviano. Cellini, when you came to the palace, why didn't you ask for me?
I wanted to find you myself. And when Polverino leapt on me in the dark and I had to kill him, I lost my head and ran away.
Oh, don't you see, Your Excellency? When Ottaviano found that Cellini had fled, he was afraid he'd gotten wind of the plot and was going to warn you.
It all sounds very flimsy to me. On the other hand, 3 years ago, Ottaviano, you did plot against my life.
But you forgave me, and it did not happen again. My lord, I am a Medici, and I claim the right of protection from further insult. My honor is at stake. You must hang Cellini, or you must hang me. In the name of our family, I demand... Which of us will you hang?
That's quite a problem, isn't it? Ottaviano, I don't like your face. I never have since the time you tried to kill me 3 years ago. You're no good as a silversmith, and you're not even amusing. I think I will hang you instead of Cellini. You tried to kill me before, and I think you may have been at it again.
I throw myself on your mercy, my lord.
Away with you. Men, take him away.
Goodbye, Ottaviano.
Spare me, my lord.
Take him away.
And I did say it. You are a long-eared donkey.
Put him in a rat-infested cell, and don't be particular about his meals. Give him vinegar to drink. I never did like that, man. Was all that true, my dear? You can tell me. I will not kill your Cellini.
It was all true. I give you my word.
Why didn't you tell me before?
Why didn't you tell me?
I was saving it until I should need it. I thought maybe at the right moment I might be able to exchange it for 60 years of a man's life.
You're very young to have learned so much.
Oh, I learned it all from a master of intrigue, the great Cellini.
Now, see here, something has to be done about this man. He's the terror of Florence.
With your permission, my lord, I have done something about him.
Yes? What?
I've married him.
Married? Married Cellini? You don't mean it. Oh, you don't mean it.
Well, what is so funny about marriage?
This I am going to enjoy watching. Great jumping grasshoppers, I'm glad I didn't hang you. Cellini married.
Now, see here, I like being married. Joke or not, I'll cut your ears off if you don't stop that laughing.
Tell me, what's the address of that dancing girl?
Piazza Giovanni, 43.
Thank you. Goodbye, my friends, and may all your troubles be little donkeys. Little ones.
The old clown. Stop that infernal laughing. Angela, I love you. And I will love you for 60 years and 160 and 1,060. And I want 60 little girls that look just like you.
60? That's quite a few little girls. Will you settle for 6?
I'll settle for you.
Oh, darling, you have me. But as for the little girls, you'll have to keep your fingers crossed.
Oh, not I. With a fine piece of silver on my anvil and the Duke smiling at me and the city of Florence at my feet and you in my arms, there's nothing I can't accomplish. I am Cellini.
Folks, when you start sniffling and sneezing these early fall days, it's usually a sign that you've got a head cold coming on, and you'd better do something about it right away. One quick way to relieve your distress is with Vicks Vatronol, the special double-duty nose drops. This fine, specialized medication goes to work right where trouble is the moment you put a few drops in each nostril. You can feel Vatronol start bringing grand relief. It makes breathing easier as it reduces swollen membranes and opens up the nasal passages. Yes, it's sensible, friends, to keep a bottle of Vatronol handy so you can use it quick when a head cold strikes. And remember, it helps prevent many colds from developing if used in time. Follow directions in the folder. Vicks Vatronol. Angela was played by Joan Tetzel. The Duke was played by Kermit Murdoch. Be sure to listen again next week when Dangerously Yours presents The Shadow of the Raven, starring Victor Jory. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Vicks, makers of Vicks Vapor Rub, presents Dangerously Yours, starring Victor Jory in The Shadow of the Raven. Here is a good thing for you to remember when you catch a cold. The best-known home remedy for relieving miseries of colds is Vicks Vapor Rub. And now, Dangerously Yours.
I am Adventure. In my name, men have traversed the highways, the byways, the skyways of the world. I am the fire that burns in the heart of youth, that makes men dream and dare and conquer. I am dangerously yours. Danger is an elusive term. Daniel met it in the lion's den. Sir Francis Drake on the seven seas. Edgar Allan Poe met it in the dark, wandering recesses of his mind. Come with me to the brooding adventure that was the life of Edgar Allan Poe in the story called The Shadow of the Raven.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a curious volume of an old forgotten lore, while I pondered, no, that's not it.
Edgar, it's almost midnight. You must get some rest. Mother and I like to see our boarders healthy.
Hello, Virginia. It's long past time for little girls to be in bed. I heard you singing one of Grieg's songs that has always been a favorite of mine.
Yes, it's one of my favorites, too. Do you know the words? Oh, love of mine to all eternity.
Yes, I know the words very well.
What are you writing?
Nothing, just an idea, but it isn't working out. I've been wanting to do a piece for a long time about a raven.
Good heavens, what are you two doing up? Now go on to bed, Virginia.
Yes, Mother. Good night.
Mrs. Clem, there's something I must tell you. I didn't sell my story today, and I don't have any money to pay my board.
Well, never mind, Edgar. Your stories will be recognized someday, and don't worry about the rent.
There's something else I want to tell you.
Yes, I know. You've fallen in love with my daughter, haven't you, Edgar?
You're a very wise woman.
Mothers have an instinct about such matters. And you see, I know so well how she feels.
I want so much to marry her, and yet I'm afraid to marry her. Mrs. Clem, have I any right to her? My life is such a confused, unhappy thing. Have I any right to marry someone so sweet, so young, so holy? I think I haven't. If I'm honest, I must say all I can offer her is a nightmare.
No, Edgar, no. You mustn't say that.
Virginia, you were listening.
Yes, Mother, I was listening, and I'm glad. Would you let me speak to Edgar alone for a moment, please?
Of course. Good night, Edgar. Now, don't sit up too late.
Oh, Edgar, I love you so much.
Virginia, listen to me. The best I can offer you isn't big enough or good enough or pure enough. The best I can offer you is my love and my devotion.
That's the whole world.
And if you accept my love and devotion, you accept also hours darker than any you've ever experienced. The hours of my despair and torment. The hours when demons descend on me and take hold of me and I want to die. Or get drunk. Doesn't that frighten you? Doesn't that make you pause, Virginia?
Do you love me, Edgar?
I love you and I need you. If I'm ever to know peace. But when I want to reach out for you, something inside me says no. Something says don't touch her. There's evil in your touch. What's clean and holy will shrivel and die if you attempt to possess it. Virginia, do you understand at all what I'm saying? Do you?
Yes, dear. You're saying you love me. And I'm glad. I'm so very, very glad.
Oh, run away, Virginia. I'm not strong enough to send you. Run fast until you're in the sunlight and free of me. Run, Virginia.
Darling, hold me close. Hold me close, my darling.
Virginia. Oh, my Virginia.
You must get some sleep.
I can't sleep. Virginia, I cannot marry you. I just cannot marry you. There's a demon in my mind, Virginia. When I conquer him, he writes my stories. But when he conquers me, he makes me a whining coward. And I can't bring all that into your life.
My dear, if there's to be happiness for me, if there's to be light in the sunshine and happiness in the stars, I must be with you. Oh, Edgar, I'd rather have one glorious hour than 1,000 empty ones.
There's danger in this marriage, Virginia. I feel it. I know it.
If that's true, then let there be danger, because it will be a beautiful danger. Oh, Edgar, we must go on. We must take what comes. If we turn back, we return to nothing.
I love you very much.
And I love you, and will forever.
Oh, Mrs. Poe, did I ever tell you that I love you very much?
Well, you haven't for a long time. A half an hour at least.
Virginia, suddenly you've made me very ambitious to write. I want to conquer the world and throw it at your feet. Ask me for something you've always wanted.
Well, let's see. I think I'd like a house. A small house with a friendly fireplace and lots of windows. I ask you for that. And I shall ask God for a long life to live in that house with you.
This is a very special occasion, darling. How about a toast?
Good, I'll pour the sherry. What shall we drink to?
Drink to? Why, to the future. Our future.
How close that thunder was. Well, let us drink our toast, Edgar.
To our future. To our shining future. So discouraging, writing, and having nothing come of it. Getting jobs and losing them because of politics and petty jealousies.
Things will be better, Edgar.
But, Virginia, you look ill. I'm afraid. No, I should never have brought you to New York.
But I love it here. And nothing great was ever accomplished without a struggle. Why don't you go on with your story, Edgar? It's such an exciting idea. And I love the title. The Pit and the Pendulum.
Virginia, where are you?
I'm here, darling.
The room's so dark. It's full of eyes staring at me. It's so dark, Virginia.
Well, there's nothing in the room, Edgar. You were just having a bad dream.
Oh, Virginia, my darling, don't ever leave me. Promise you'll never leave me.
I promise, Edgar.
How can I ever keep you? How could I ever keep an angel?
I don't know whether you could keep an angel or not, but I'm sure no woman could ever leave you. Why, Edgar, you're the prince that every woman dreams about.
If I'm a prince, it's the Prince of Darkness.
That may be. The dark may be your kingdom. You write about it so well. But if it is, then you must learn to ride through it, unafraid.
I wish I could. Dear God, I wish I could. My dear friend, I am deeply embarrassed by the necessity of having to write you this request. But I have been anticipating a sale of some stories that has not yet materialized. I wonder if you would be so kind as to lend me the sum of $20.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking to watch him struggle so desperately for a foothold. I never quite get it.
You're worrying too much about Edgar. He's coming along, dear. He did win a prize with his Goldbug story.
A prize isn't enough. Oh, I'm frightened for him, Mother. I'm afraid he'll break his heart.
Not over stories. The only thing that will ever break his heart is losing you.
Don't say that. Please don't say that, Mother. Well, Doctor?
It's hard to know what to say to you, Mrs. Poe. I wish you'd let me talk to your husband. How old are you, Mrs. Poe?
23. Am I very ill, Doctor?
Do you want the truth, my child?
Yes, I want the truth.
Well, I'm sorry, but I can't help you. Medical science is still very limited in cases like yours.
I see. How long have I?
I can't even answer that. I'm sorry. More sorry than I can say. I'll have my carriage take you home.
No, please. Please, I can walk home.
No. It's raining hard. I don't want you out on the streets in this weather. And remember, you can send a boy at any hour of the day or night if you need me.
Thank you, Doctor. But I shall probably fool you, you know. I intend to live for a long time yet.
God bless you. I hope you do.
In just a moment, we will bring you Act 2 of The Shadow of the Raven. You know, this is the time of year when the children start coming home with colds that make them feel so miserable. Now, to relieve their distress, the best-known home remedy you can use is Vicks Vapor Rub. You just rub it on the child's throat, chest, and back at bedtime. And right away, it starts in to help relieve the congestion and irritation in the upper breathing passages, the coughing spasms, sore throat, and that muscular soreness or tightness. Results are so good because Vapor Rub penetrates into the upper bronchial tubes with its special soothing medicinal vapors. And at the same time, it stimulates chest and back surfaces like a comforting, warming poultice. This penetrating, stimulating action of Vapor Rub keeps on working for hours. It invites restful sleep, and often by morning, most of the misery of the cold is gone. But be sure you use Vapor Rub, because only Vapor Rub gives you this special penetrating, stimulating action to relieve distress of colds. Vicks Vapor Rub. And now, Act 2 of Dangerously Yours, starring Victor Jory in The Shadow of the Raven.
Virginia! Virginia, where are you?
I'm here, dear. Is anything wrong?
No, except that even the next room was so far away I couldn't bear it. Aren't you reading very late tonight?
I'm not sleepy. I slept pretty late this morning, you know.
You have a strange radiance tonight. You're almost too beautiful.
What a nice compliment.
Come sit beside me. Let me put my arm around you, darling.
What was the matter, dear? Why did you call for me?
Because I fell asleep for a moment and I needed you. You see, every time I shut my eyes lately, I feel as though I was sinking into a pit and that you are being drawn away from me somewhere out into space.
But I'm not, Edgar.
No, it's only my horrible dream. I had one last night. I got up and lit the lamp and sat there watching you sleep, and then I was at peace. You seemed to me an angel, holy, pure, and remote from all earthly things. And during those hours, I was free from the thing that haunts me. And it was there I came to know exactly what it is you are to me.
And what is that, Edgar?
You're all the good that's in me. You're my religion, and my faith, and my honor. You're the light that can dispel the blackest night. You're the coolness that can heal my most burning fevers. And you're the clear, logical reason for my continuing to live a life that has no beauty but for you. Oh, Virginia, sometimes I think that if I lost you, I'd go mad.
No, Edgar, no. Please don't say such things.
I'm sorry, darling. Very sorry and very tired. Won't you please sing for me?
Oh, my dear. I don't think I can.
Please, Virginia.
Though I roam a minstrel lonely, all through the night, my true harp shall praise you only, all through the night. Love's young dream on earth is over, yet my strains of love shall hover near the presence.
Virginia. Virginia. Oh, Virginia, my darling. My darling.
She must have a complete rest and quiet, Mr. Poe. You must be very careful not to excite her or upset her in any way. Good night. I'll stop by in the morning.
Good night, Doctor.
I'll show you out, Doctor.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith.
Good night, Doctor. Edgar, now I want you to lie down and try to get some sleep. I'll sit with Virginia for a while.
I can't stay in this house. I've got to get out of this house. Do you think I can sit here while she's dying in the next room? Don't you understand that I'm dying too? Do you think I can stay here and watch the only thing in this world that I love slipping away from me? I've got to get out of here. I'll go mad if I stay here.
What good do you think running away would do? Do you think you can drink yourself into forgetting?
Yes, eventually.
Listen, she's calling you.
Oh, my. All right, darling. I'm coming.
Poor dear. I'm sorry I frightened you. Sit down beside me. You look so tired, my darling. Lie down here and take a nap with me. We'll both feel much better in the morning. I promise you.
Is she any better?
No. The doctor just left. He says there's no change.
I'm going in to sit with her for a while.
Oh, let me sit with her. You're tired and ill.
No. I have to count the hours now. I can't waste even one.
Hello, Edgar. Look, the sun is out. Isn't it nice to see the sun in January?
Yes. And in 2 more months it will be spring. And then you shall go out in the sunshine, my dear. And I'll fill your arms with flowers. And you'll grow strong again.
Remember how we used to walk through the fields when I was a child, hand in hand? And you would tell me stories. And in all of them, I was always the fairy tale princess, waiting for my knight to come riding. Do you remember, Edgar?
Yes, I remember.
And when the night came, he had your eye and your smile. And I thought how wonderful it would be if such a man would fall in love with me.
Oh, Virginia, I wanted to give you so much, and I've given you so little.
So little? Why, you've given me 12 years of happiness, far beyond what most people know. You've given me the days of those years in their fullest beauty. Why, my dear, you've given me the entire world as a kingdom. You've made me very happy. It's been exciting and beautiful, every moment of it.
It's been poverty and pain and fear and death. Don't you think I know that? Oh, Virginia, my darling, you must live. You've got to live. You promised you'd live, you know.
No, Edgar. I promised I would never leave you.
My dear friend, I am writing to advise you that my wife, Virginia, died on January 30th.
Edgar, you must rest.
No, please. I must finish this poem. I must finish it.
Very well. Very well.
Eagerly, I wished them all. Vainly, I sought to borrow from my books, cease from sorrow.
sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting. Still is sitting. And the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and his soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted evermore. Oh, Virginia. Virginia.
Edgar! Edgar, where are you going? Edgar, come back!
Say, Doctor, we found this man unconscious over on East Lombard Street. He seems to be in a bad way.
Yes, he's in a very grave condition. You did right to bring him to the hospital. Who is he?
I don't know. Never saw him before.
Well, let's see if he has anything that will identify him. He has some letters in his pocket. Let's see. They're all addressed to Edgar Allan Poe. Is he resting any easier?
No, Doctor. He's still delirious. He's been shouting and sobbing terribly. You'd better look at him right away.
Virginia. Virginia. Where are you, Virginia? You said you wouldn't leave me, but it's been 2 years since you left, and I've been alone for 2 years. 2 years of nightmares. 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 Writing. 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 The sound increased, and what could I do? It was a low, dull, quick sound like a sound a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. What could I do? It grew louder, louder, louder. I felt that I must scream or die. And now again, louder, 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 louder.
The Telltale Heart. Yes, of course, the Telltale Heart. I was reading that last night. Stupid of me. Edgar Allan Poe. He wrote it.
Virginia. Virginia. Get him away. Get him away. His eyes have all the seeming. His eyes have all the seeming of demon that is dreaming. All the seeming. Virginia. Virginia, help me. Virginia, I need you. I'm lost. Virginia, they're pulling me down into darkness. I'm lost. Virginia. Oh, Virginia. I've been so lonely.
You won't be lonely again, Edgar. And there won't be any more nightmares. Give me your hand, my darling.
Poor fellow. Poor fellow.
Do you know that poem he was saying over and over? His eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming.
And my soul from out that shadow that lies streaming on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. But it did lift. Look at his face, Doctor. He looks peaceful, doesn't he? Very peaceful. Put down in your book, Edgar Allan Poe died just before dawn on Sunday, October 7th.
If you've caught a cold that's making you feel miserable, here's a modern way to relieve distress and get a lot of comfort. Just rub Vicks Vapor Rub on your throat, chest, and back. You'll find that almost at once, Vapor Rub starts to soothe the distress of the cold in the very places it bothers you most. Vapor Rub penetrates into the cold, congested upper bronchial tubes with its special soothing medicinal vapors. And at the same time, it stimulates chest and back surfaces like a comforting, warming poultice. This penetrating, stimulating action of Vapor Rub keeps on working for hours to bring grand relief. It invites restful sleep, and often most of the misery of a cold is gone overnight. Why don't you try it tonight? And remember, only Vapor Rub gives you this special penetrating, stimulating action. It's the best-known home remedy for relieving miseries of colds. Vicks Vapor Rub.
I am Adventure. Next week, come with me on a new journey into the world of romance and excitement. Meet with me a man who dared everything for one great moment. Until then, I am dangerously yours.
Our script was written by Gene Holloway and directed by Richard Sandville. Music for the series is under the direction of Mark Warnow. The part of Virginia was played by Janice Gilbert. Be sure and listen again next week when Vicks presents Dangerously Yours, starring Victor Jory. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Vicks presents Dangerously Yours, a half hour of romance and adventure starring Victor Jory in Berkeley Square. First, here's a good thing to remember when you catch a cold. The best-known home remedy for relieving miseries of colds is Vicks Vapor Rub. And now...
I am Adventure. In my name, men have traversed the highways, the byways, the skyways of the world, have traveled old trails and blazed new ones. I am the fire that burns in the heart of youth, that makes men dream and dare and conquer. I am dangerously yours. This week, come with me to England to meet a young American who inherited an ancient house and lived one of the strangest adventures any man has ever known. Peter Standish of Berkeley Square.
They tell me I have been very ill. Perhaps I have. But I've also been on the most inconceivable adventure that could be imagined. I have crossed the bridge from the present to the past. I have gone from this century back into the 18th century. I have traded places with my own great-great-grandfather, Peter Standish. That same great-great-grandfather whose portrait hangs there over the fireplace. When this strange adventure began, I was with Marjorie.
Peter, that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. Why, you might have sat for that portrait of your great-great-grandfather yourself.
Marjorie, wouldn't you love to change places with him? Just imagine walking the quiet streets of London in the 18th century, breathing pure air instead of gasoline, riding in sedan chairs instead of taxicabs. Wouldn't that be an adventure?
Yes, but it would be an impossible one, Peter.
No, you're wrong. What I'm getting at is this, that to God there is no past, present, and future. Time as we know it is nothing but an idea in the mind of man. Do you see, Marjorie?
Peter, darling, you've been working too hard. You aren't being practical or sensible. You haven't been from the time you inherited this house and came here to live. I don't think it's good for you.
This house gave me the idea. I tell you, the possibility of going back in time is perfectly logical.
It may sound convincing, Peter, but of course it's impossible. No, my dear, the past is over and gone.
You're wrong, Marjorie. Look, I have some of the past right here in my hands. It's Peter Standish's diary. Would you like to know a little about him? I've been studying it so hard I know it almost by heart. His trip from New York to England took 27 days in a bark called the General Wolfe. It says, too, that Reynolds didn't want to paint his portrait. That's the one over the fireplace. I've been curious about that.
But he must have painted it. It's obviously Reynolds.
Yes, that's certain. Now, let's see. Oh, yes. He married the eldest Pettigrew girl, Kate, in this very house. They had children who died here. And there was a younger sister, Helen. Her family tried to force her into a marriage she hated. The diary stops before that's settled. And look here.
Please, Peter, it's all very interesting, but suppose you tell me about it some other time. Oh, you look so tired and flushed. I'm going to get you some tea.
I wish you understood. Marjorie, are you sure you want to marry me when there's so much you don't understand about me?
Of course I want to marry you, darling. You're just a little tired. You don't really think you could go back into the 18th century. Now, you just sit there while I get you some tea.
I sat there staring about the room, staring at the rich, mellowed walls, the satin-smooth tables, the dignified chairs. And the past was alive in that room, and I knew it. The firelight flickered on the ceiling and touched to gold the face of my ancestor, Peter Standish. And in some curious way, I felt as though I were looking at myself. And then outside, I heard a coach on cobblestones. And then I laughed to myself. A coach? Cobblestones? Why, they had had wood blocks in Berkeley Square for ages. They were quieter even than the asphalt in New York. And then I heard a woman's footstep, and I turned expecting to see Marjorie, and saw...
Oh, I bid you good evening. I suppose you're my cousin Peter from America. We had your note that you'd arrived in London. How did you get into the house without any of us hearing you?
I jumped to my feet staring at her, staring at this woman dressed in hooped satin, her hair piled high on her head, her shoulders bare. I touched my own sleeve. That was satin, too. And I looked down and saw that I was dressed in the clothes of the man in the portrait. And then I looked to the wall, but it was gone. There was no portrait there.
Well, Cousin Peter, are you going to stand there staring at me all evening?
I beg your pardon. You must be my cousin Kate. Or is it Helen?
I'm Kate, sir. But how did you get here in all this rain without getting wet?
Well, I came in a coach.
Oh, I see.
I rang the bell, but no one answered, so I came in.
The bell? You rang the bell? What bell?
Oh, I mean, the knocker, of course.
Well, in any event, I'm most happy to welcome you, Cousin Peter. And if you'll come with me, my mother, sister, and brother will also bid you welcome. We've all been looking forward to this meeting for some time.
I followed her out into the hall, my heart pounding with excitement. The miracle had come to pass. I was in the 18th century. We went down the hall, and there in the gracious candlelit sitting room was the Pettigrew family. Lady Anne and Helen, and the young Pettigrew, Tom, looking a bit the worse for drink. And there was also a small, fat, unpleasant-looking man who I judged to be Helen's unwanted suitor, Mr. Throssell. Lady Anne gave me a most cordial welcome.
Well, well, Cousin Peter, what a delight this visit of yours is indeed. Kate has been all aflutter about it for weeks. Indeed, so have we all.
How gracious of her, and of you.
This is my other daughter, Helen.
How do you do, Cousin Peter?
How do you do, Cousin Helen?
And this is my son, Tom.
How do you do?
Who will no doubt show you around town. And this is Helen's fiancé, Mr. Throssell.
How do you do, Mr. Throssell, gentlemen? It's my pleasure, gentlemen. Did you like the cashmere shawl your aunt sent you for your birthday, Helen?
Cashmere shawl? Is there a shawl in that parcel? I haven't opened it yet.
Peter, how could you possibly know it was a shawl? How could you possibly know?
I don't, really. It was only a guess, you see. Well, shawls are so popular nowadays.
Well, aren't you clever to guess? It is a shawl. My sister wrote me about it. Well, come now. You must be shown to your room. Dinner's not so long away. Come, my dear boy, come.
Come in. Oh, hello, Helen.
Pardon the intrusion, Peter. Mother thought I should see if you were comfortable.
I'm very comfortable, thank you. Where's Kate?
She's helping Mother downstairs. Cousin Peter, may I ask you something?
Why, of course.
Are you in love with Kate?
But why do you ask?
You never saw her before this afternoon, and yet you and Mother arranged your betrothal before you ever came to England. Of course, it may be a young and stupid fancy on my part, but I always thought that two people had to meet before they fell in love. It seems strange.
You're quite right. Helen.
Yes?
Will you help me? There's a lot that's strange to me about this country. I'll need a bit of guidance.
Why, yes, I'd be very glad to. And now I'll leave you. Good afternoon, Cousin Peter.
Helen,
Yes, Peter?
you're very sweet.
Yes?
And I think my great-great-grandfather was absolutely screwy.
Screwy?
That's just a New York expression.
Oh.
Good afternoon, Helen.
Good afternoon, Cousin Peter. Oh, excuse me for banging the door.
Helen. A smile curved to fit my heart. Eyes that danced in the candlelight. Hair like blue-black midnight sky. In the days that followed, I could not keep my eyes nor my thoughts away from her. And yet I knew that I must marry Kate. But Kate, after the first few days, kept away from me. It was Helen that was by my side constantly. It was Helen who took me to Sir Joshua Reynolds' studio.
Turn your face toward the window, please. Mr. Standish, I am very sorry, but I must refuse the commission. I cannot paint you.
What? Why, Sir Joshua, you did paint. I mean, that's impossible.
I wish I could paint you, Mr. Standish, but I'm a painter of realities. And there's something in your face and your eyes that's unreal. Something I would never be able to capture.
I never heard of such rot.
Come, Peter. There's no point in arguing.
But he must paint me. He did paint me. Oh, never mind. You wouldn't understand. Good day, Sir Joshua. I hope you'll change your mind.
Change my mind? I'd as soon paint the devil as to paint you.
Kate, wasn't this to be my dance?
Yes, but I have a headache. I don't quite feel up to dancing just now.
Well, since you have a headache, Kate, let's go outside in the balcony for a breath of air.
Well, I really shouldn't. I wanted to see Mother.
Just for a moment, Kate. Come, let's go out here. It's a beautiful night, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose so.
Kate, what's the matter? You've been avoiding me all evening.
Have I? You certainly haven't been avoiding my sister.
Don't tell me you're jealous. You don't need to be, you know.
Jealous? No, I'm relieved. But I fear for Helen. Peter Standish, you're a very strange and frightening man.
Oh, now, Kate, you're letting gossip upset you. I know what people are saying about me, and of course it's ridiculous.
Yes, you know what people are saying. And you know what I'm thinking right now. You always know. You know what's going to happen before it happens.
Oh, no, Kate, no. Not the way you think. And why are you looking so startled? There's nothing to be afraid of.
Oh, I thought you loved me.
You mustn't talk like that. Why, my dear, we're going to be married.
Married? Do you think I'd marry you when I'm hard put to it to force myself to remain alone with you? Sir Joshua saw it. Everyone sees it. There's something that's not human about you.
Kate, you're overwrought. You'll feel differently in the morning.
In the morning, I shall drive to Budley. I cannot stay in this house with you any longer.
I see. You're breaking our engagement? You can't do that.
Oh, can't I? How smugly you say it. So you think there are no limits to what a wizard can do with a woman. The women all press after you, don't they? But no woman wishes to dance with you twice, except Helen. Peter Standish, I never was so afraid of anything in my life as I am of you. And you think you can make me marry you? I'd as soon marry the devil. I'm leaving London in the morning, and I'll not return to this house as long as you're in it. And you can be sure I'll do everything in my power to get you out of it.
Peter?
Oh, Helen.
Peter, come and dance with me.
You're not afraid of me, Helen. You're not afraid to dance with me.
How can you be afraid of someone you love? Oh, come and dance with me, Peter.
In just a moment, we will bring you the second act of Dangerously Yours. Well, here it is fall again, and first thing you know, the children may be coming home from school with nasty colds. Too bad. But this time, Mother, don't take needless chances with untried remedies. Instead, relieve distress the modern way most young mothers now use. When your child catches a cold, rub the throat, chest, and back with Vicks Vapor Rub. Then see how quickly Vapor Rub starts to work to bring grand relief as it penetrates into the cold, congested upper bronchial tubes with its special soothing medicinal vapors, and at the same time stimulates chest and back surfaces like a warming poultice. This penetrating, stimulating action of Vapor Rub keeps on working for hours to bring relief and comfort, and often most of the distress of a cold is gone overnight. Now stick to Vapor Rub this winter, Mother, because only Vapor Rub gives you this special penetrating, stimulating action to relieve miseries of colds. Vicks Vapor Rub. And now, the second act of Dangerously Yours, starring Victor Jory in Berkeley Square.
Peter, it's very late. Are you going to walk up and down the library all night?
I can't sleep, Helen.
You're worried about Kate, aren't you? Well, don't be. She'll be all right when she returns. Peter, tell me what all this mystery means so that I can explain it to her. Tell me how you can know things you couldn't know. First, it was about my shawl, and since then, so many things.
Well, Helen,
But it's true, Peter. You do see ahead. We all know you do. Oh, Peter, tell me how you do it. I want to see ahead, too. I'd love to know about the future.
But I couldn't tell you, dear. You wouldn't understand. There aren't any words to make you understand.
You say there aren't any words because these things must come to your mind in visions, Peter. And I think I could see them, too, through your eyes. Oh, let me try. Look at me, Peter. Look at me.
Very well. I'm looking.
And I was right. I can see. I see this room, this very room. It blazes with magic lights, Peter. And there's your portrait on the wall. Then Reynolds did paint it, just as you said he did. Now I see sunshine, white clouds, great birds bigger than 100 eagles.
Aeroplanes. Machines with men in them.
And below them, reaching to the sky, a fairy dream city. And, oh, Peter, look down on the ground.
You're looking, Helen, into the great age of mechanism. Trains, automobiles, factories, radio. An age of miracles and of great truths. That's the future, Helen.
Peter, you know the future. Tell me ours.
I don't know our future. But I do know I love you. If ever a man loved a woman, I do love you.
I loved you before I ever saw you. In my first dream of you, coming with a candle from somewhere far away to meet me.
Oh, Helen, I can't play a part anymore. I'm myself, you see. I'm myself, and I'm muddling everything up. This isn't possible. This isn't my world or yours. It isn't my life, and it isn't your life.
Oh, Peter, take me away with you. Take me back to wherever you came from.
I can't, Helen. I can't.
Then don't leave me. Oh, Peter, don't leave me.
Oh, my beloved. When I kissed Kate, that was the first Peter Standish kissing his betrothed. But there's never been a kiss like this since the world began.
Well, Kate. So you've come back from Budley. Well, let me tell you something. Your Peter has asked for Helen's hand in marriage. What do you think of that?
Mother, you wouldn't let Helen marry him. You wouldn't do that. This marriage must not be.
Don't worry, my dear. I shall see to that.
Well, Kate, I'm glad to see you again.
Hello, Kate, dearest. Mr. Standish, when you came into this house, although the door was shut and locked, did you come from America?
Yes, we are all very curious about that, Mr. Standish. What is the answer?
The answer is yes. I do come from America.
Oh, really? Mr. Standish, you used some very peculiar expressions at times, and I made a note of them. You said they were expressions used in New York.
That's right.
Indeed. Well, on my way home, I stopped at the legation in Grosvenor Square. Should not the American minister, Mr. Adams, know what words are used in New York?
Mr. Adams is from Massachusetts.
I asked him, nevertheless. He had never heard of one of them. As a matter of fact, those expressions are not used in America, and they're certainly not used in England. If they're used at all, the devils use them in hell. It is true Peter Standish came from New York in the General Wolfe. You've taken possession of his body. What have you done with him?
Kate, I think this has gone quite far enough. I think perhaps we should call your brother Tom to deal with this creature.
In the old days, he'd have been burned at the stake.
Why not now? You still burn people. You burn women accused of witchcraft.
You should be whipped for this, sir.
Yes, whip people if they're crazy. Flog them in public, as you flog your half-naked lunatics at Bedlam with a crowd of your gaping Londoners looking on. You savages.
You forget yourself, sir.
Your son Tom, madam, you're proud of him, aren't you? You think he's a gentleman. A typical English gentleman of the time. Well, he is. But what a time. Dirt, disease, cruelty, smells. You, Kate, you may be a fool, but you're the best of the lot. For you're trying in your silly way to help Helen now. But as for you, Lady Anne, I've seen you in Sheridan's plays, and I've read you in Jane Austen's novels. You know what you want, and you plow straight ahead over everything and through everything like a tank lumbering through the mud. You hit like a tank. Good Francis Adams, what tank means. No, it's not Charles Francis Adams. It's John Adams, second president of the United States. Charles Adams won't be born until the Civil War in 1861.
Peter!
What's one more blunder among so many? Your Peter Standish came from New York to Plymouth in the General Wolfe. This Peter Standish flew from New York to Plymouth. Shall I make a few more blunders for you to gibber at, Kate? Shall I drive you to Budley in my car at 90 miles an hour?
You fiend from hell.
What do I care about you? You're all over and done with, all of you. You're dead. You've rotted away in your graves. You're all ghosts. That's what you are, ghosts. Do you hear?
Come, Helen. Let's get out of here.
And I was in love with the past. I was in love with the past.
My dearest. Oh, my dearest.
I turned, and there was Helen. Helen, born of the 18th century, all loveliness, all grace, all beauty. And I caught her to me and rested my